Hello, everyone, and welcome to the August-September Hack the Movies wrap-up. I'm Tony from Hack the Movies, of course. We have a very exciting show today. All your favorites are here, including Joey C. Hello, Joey.
What's happening, Tony? Happy to see you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. I didn't get to see you last month, so this is a very, very happy moment for me. And, of course, we got our boy, Gil.
Oh, are we starting? I have to go to
Yes.
the restroom.
I'm going to kill you. And, of course, we have Crystal, who's currently building her computer to join the stream.
What?
Nice.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and we might have other people. I know Mike Moorhead said he's trying to go on, and I sent a link to Johanna, and she forgot that she was going to be involved with this, so maybe she'll pop on for Beetlejuice. But as of right now, guys, it looks like it's a little boys month reunion.
Which went so well the first time, so this is going to be good.
And fuck it, you know what, Logan?
Hey.
Did you see everything on the list?
No. Sorry.
What did you see?
Beetlejuice and In a Violent Nature.
Okay, we'll bring you back toward the end then. Or else I'll be sitting here. But hi, Logan. How are Logan? I just want to say, great job on the Worst Crow episode. You were very
Thank you.
knowledgeable. That was a very entertaining episode. Got way more views than that other Crow episode I did. I blame it on my co-host for that episode. I had a weak co-host on that. I should have had you. And I do plan on going back and re-reviewing the Crow with you. But I'm going to let you go now so we can get through the rest of this. Oh, hi, Joey. Anyway.
Oh, hey.
Yes, August, September. I didn't get to do an August wrap-up last month because every movie I saw in August at that time got its own review, basically. So I decided to package them into this month. Look at all these fun people we're going to talk about today. Isn't it great?
Wow.
But first, we got some things we got to take care of. Guys, the Pittsburgh vlog is up on Patreon. It's up on Patreon. Gil, you're speechless. Were you moved by my Pittsburgh vlog on Patreon?
The one that I watched on
Yeah.
Patreon? Yeah, definitely. You have to go out and see it, everybody.
It was very
I
emotional.
agree.
Well, one, I show an extended tour of the Buffalo Bill House from Silence of the Lambs. Highly recommend you all go there. It's great.
Which was great. Yep.
I toured the mall from Dawn of the Dead, went to the Zombie Museum. I went there in like 2009. It looks completely different. Then I went to the cemetery from Night of the Living Dead. And guys, as you see in the upper left there, I had a very emotional moment where I finally returned to the stadium from The Dark Knight Rises. It'll move you to tears. It'll move you to tears. Which, by the way, they've changed the name of the stadium, so it was very confusing.
To the Tony from Hack the Movies.
No,
Stadium.
that would be preferable. But apparently Heinz Field is now Acrisure Stadium.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what Acrisure is. But anyway,
I don't know.
very emotional vlog. You'll all cry and laugh. It'll be great. Also on Patreon, an early episode, Under Wraps. Gil, you love Under Wraps, right?
That is a disturbing face.
Now, you might be wondering, Tony, what the hell? Why are you reviewing a Disney Channel original movie? The answer is that there's one fan who goes by Dirty Boy Trilla at the moment. I feel like he changes his name. He's been asking me to review Under Wraps on every single video, and he will leave comments on the same video multiple times for 3 years for me to review Under Wraps. So I finally thought it was funny enough to cave and review it. Spoiler, if you try this, I'll either think it's funny and do it, or I'll block you. So it's 50-50. But that is up early right now for patrons and channel members. Also, I'm bringing back Just Like the Movie, where I review video games based off movies. And the first one is the Sega CD for Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I actually owned when I was younger and was very, very frustrating. That is up early. It goes up next week. Did you guys ever watch my Dracula and Frankenstein episodes I did with Movie Dumpster?
Yes, of course I did, Tony. I watch everything you do, of course. That's what
I'm still
friends
just
do.
in awe that you had a Sega CD.
Yeah, I did. I had Lethal Enforcer, this, Night Trap, what was it, Sewer Sharks? That one sucked. But yes, if you've never seen those episodes, that two-parter I did with Movie Dumpster, this weekend, I'm uploading a compilation, both episodes combined together. You want to hear something fucked, guys? So the individual Dracula review, not copyright claim. The clips are fine. When I combine it with the other review and upload it, it copyright claimed every single clip from Dracula. And I'm like, but I don't get it. This is the video I already have on the channel. I don't understand why one's okay and the other one isn't.
Yeah. Anytime I do my timelines, I have the same thing. I'll upload like each movie recap individually. They're all fine. And then when you stick them together, they're like Spider-Man Far From Home. You can't upload that.
No.
It's very, very frustrating. And then, Joey, I think you'll be joining me. And who knows?
I
maybe
will be.
Gil will stop by.
What is it? What am I looking at
just
here?
giving you this
Tell me about this.
Crypt Video Rentals next week, October 4th and October 5th. We're going to be at the Neshaminy Creek Brewing, where I usually am. But this is going to be a pretty big event. They're going to be screening Nightmare on Elm Street. Then the next night, they're going to be streaming the Goosebumps The Haunted Mask episode. They have the masks from the actual movie there. 20 vendors. We will be doing a live show there. I don't know if we're going to call it a live episode. It was supposed to be a live episode, but you're going to have to follow me on everything to find out what it is. I told Joey what the idea was earlier, and he thought it was really funny. I feel like he should say, Tony, that's a stupid idea, but he thought it was really funny. So based off his reaction, I now think it's a good idea. But that'll be next week. Check me out there. And then we will also be at Monster Mania in, when the hell is the freaking Oaks one? November 8th to 10th. You can see us in person. In person. Could you imagine seeing this face in person, guys?
Wow, I have and would do again.
The only thing is you got to make sure people always warn you don't want to meet your heroes. So I was real worried, Tony, for you on your behalf meeting me.
It was everything I dreamed of, Gil. It was the happiest day of my life.
I had that joke like locked and loaded, ready to go for the episode we recorded, and then I forgot to say it. So I was like, I'll just pull it out. I'm just going to wait for whatever flimsy excuse I can find to pull it out.
Oh, by the way,
Tony just brought me to a Wawa and a Planet Fitness, and that was it.
Gil, I didn't watch it yet, but the trailer for Ballerina came out today. The John Wick spinoff.
Yeah, so I assume our episode got a big boost in the algorithm.
Oh, no.
Did you try just spamming Ballerina in the description over and over?
No, Gil, our review did not get a big boost. Joey, don't ask me how Tenacious D's episode's doing. Anyway.
No, I don't want to know.
How about that Alien Covenant live stream?
That actually did surprisingly well. Yeah. I was actually kind of shocked. But yes, Joey, before we continue, what's the name of the game?
Well, Tony and crew, the name of the game is Super Chats, folks. If you want me or the crew to whisper sweet nothings into your ear, all you have to do is send a Super Chat, but it has to be within reason, okay? Mommy milkers and all that fun stuff. We have YouTube guidelines to follow here, so also you can go to patreon.com/hackthemovies, and Tony will do whatever you want. Whatever you want. So just keep that in mind. Let me tell you.
But yeah, so let's start with August. Lionsgate, they put out The Crow, which I cover, and that wasn't a big hit for them. But surely Borderlands did well, right?
Yeah, surely, of course. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Borderlands, based off the video game. I've never played a single Borderlands game. Have any of you?
Yes.
No.
Okay, Joey, what is Borderlands about?
Well, it's just take Fallout and make it cartoony, and you pretty much got it right there. That's
okay. Well, I liked Fallout earlier this year.
Yeah,
and I like cartoony stuff like like the Twisted Metal show, which we reviewed.
Fantastic.
So I didn't know much about Borderlands at all. I know that guy in the weird hockey mask is on the cover of one of them.
Yep.
And I know Eli Roth directed this, or at least some of it. He did not direct the reshoots because he was doing Thanksgiving at that point. Yeah, this one's been sitting for a while, by the way. Since like 2021, I think it finished filming in 2021. And it's just been sitting this whole time. Yeah, I heard that it was absolutely terrible. It was the worst thing in the world. And I put it on the other day. I'm like, all right, well, let me check for myself. And I mean, for the first half, I was like, all right, this is okay, except for Jack Black, which there was a bad time to have Jack Black and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
They couldn't have picked. The worst thing you could have done in August is release a movie with Jack Black.
We waited 3 years to release this movie.
That waited
and it's
3
like,
years.
oh.
The second worst thing you could do in August is release a review for a Jack Black movie that you shot in April. Those are the two worst things you could have done.
That's very true.
But I was like thinking it was okay, a little bit cringe, but it was like fine for the most part in the beginning, like the first half. This girl was annoying. I know she's like the big Hollywood girl right now, but her character was very, very annoying. Is that accurate to the game, Joey?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so
accurate.
there were things that I thought were weird or annoying, but I'm like, maybe this is on brand for the game. Kate Blanchett.
This
Look, I don't
casting
know
made no sense.
Yeah,
I didn't. It felt.
movie.
I don't even know the character at all, but it felt like wrong. And I get that she's like dressed up like the girl and everything, but like the hair never changing once. It was just bizarre. I'm like, all right, I feel like it feels like Kate Blanchett's like cosplaying at a convention.
Well, she's also
That's
like
exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not to be ageist, but she's being like angsty. Like she meets her mom's old friend, and she's like, "You abandoned me." Like I feel like by this age, angst is supposed to either be dealt with, you accept it and you move on, or it turns into grittiness and you become like a grizzled old action hero. But instead, it just comes off as like we cast the wrong person.
Yeah, and to her credit, she's like trying. So basically, the story is like there are a bunch of aliens that rule the universe. They left a vault with their technology on a planet called Pandora. No, not that Pandora, the other Pandora. And now people go and hunt to find the vault. And now there's like a little girl who has alien DNA who can open the vault. And Kate Blanchett's got to get her back to her dad, but then gets in a vault hunting mission with all these wacky characters. And I'm like, okay, this is something. I'm getting it. And then like at the end, like the effects and everything in the beginning were like fine. And then toward the end, it got like really bad. It got like super cartoony, super cliche. And then I don't know, she's like a fucking Firebird. She's flying around shooting CGI. And I'm like, what the fuck happened in this movie? Like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and it kind of fell apart at the end. Joey, what did you think of this film?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty casual fan of Borderlands, but I was totally expecting more, which I don't know why. I should have fucking known better. And I felt like it was filled with like a lot of talented names, but this whole movie just feels like one big like miscast. With an exception of Jack Black, even though I liked Jack Black in the 2000s, I haven't liked anything he's done past 2010. He fit in all right. Kevin Hart as Roland, though, feels so fucking weird. Like, it doesn't feel like heroic at all.
I don't know anything about the character of Roland. It's just his performance just didn't do it for me.
No.
There's a lot of that, like, you know when people make fun of the MCU and do the whole, like, well, that just happened, like that cringe dialogue? Like, this movie's doing it, like, legitimately.
Exactly.
Like, not even like a parody of that.
Yeah.
It felt bizarre.
It's so fucking weird.
It really, they're saying things that would have been funny maybe like 10, 15 years ago. And I'm like, now it's just cringe.
And the jokes, they don't fit the character personalities at all. Like Kevin Hart, he fights a bunch of these guys, and afterwards he goes, "That was the worst orgy ever." I'm like, I don't even. What? Like, I could picture like Deadpool saying that, and you would buy it. You're like, he probably was aroused during that fight. But with Kevin Hart, like nothing happened. That's the only line like of that genre that his character says in the movie.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, and I there's all these different factions that I never really understood who the bad guy was. He owned an evil company and was cloning alien people, and he teamed up with a bunch of soldiers in like red armor, and one of them was Janina Kavankar, and then they teamed up with the Psychos. Is that what they're called? The hockey mask guys?
Yep.
But the Psycho with them is not a psych. He's like a former Psycho, but he still acts like one. Gil, how this movie land for you?
This movie was so confusing to me because, especially in the day and age when we learned you don't have to release movies just because you made them.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why they released this, because it even feels like it feels weird to even review it because I don't think anybody likes this movie. It feels like even the people who made it, you can feel their admission in the movie. They know. Like there's one scene where it's supposed to be this emotional moment where Kevin Hart's character is like, I'm going to stay behind. You guys keep going. And Tina doesn't want him to go. And I'm like, they have done nothing to make us care that he's staying behind. I barely even see Kevin Hart interact with Tina. So why she's so upset that he's staying behind. And the movie plays this sad, emotional music, but it's really quiet in the background and it's only there for a few seconds. Like they're saying, all right, throw the music in there because we have to, but we know you don't really care. We'll move on to the next thing. I mean, it's everything that people have said about it. No character work whatsoever. We have no reason to care what's in that vault, like the big MacGuffin of the movie. If you compare this to the thing everybody compares it to, Guardians of the Galaxy, in that movie, it was the same thing. Everybody's after that Infinity Stone. But every character, the villain, and then each of the good guys have their own reason for going after that. So it sets them all on the same path for different reasons, and they all come together. Here, if you pick Kevin Hart or pick any of the other characters, you're like, I can't really remember why they care about the vault or what they're trying to do. Yeah. And the bad guys have almost no presence in this movie at all. They show up at the way end with like 20 minutes left.
Yeah, there really is no like, there's like people trying to stop them, but they never feel like bad guys except for that one bad guy.
Right. And as soon as he shows up, she basically becomes invincible. Yeah. And so there's never any sense of danger in the movie. And if there was even a chance at that, it dissipates the moment they actually show up.
Yeah, and then he's got like that weird like henchman in like the black armor who I think they show him in the very beginning and then he shows up at the end. I'm like, was he like a guy we were supposed to remember?
Oh,
like,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm like,
he only shows up like twice.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's that guy. And I think he gets into a fight with the psycho dude. I'm like, I still don't understand why the psycho dude is even there. I don't like what sets him apart from all the other ones. Other
than there's that one lady in red who says to Kevin Hart, she's like, "You were right. I never should have been on the bad guy's side." And then she immediately gets vaporized. Yeah. And I was like, "What? All right, whatever. It doesn't matter."
Yeah. I filmed a video with her.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually filmed a video with that actress a long time ago. Did any of you guys ever watch The League?
No.
I saw like bits and pieces of it.
Well, she was the girl that they were all obsessed with, Sheena Kamini. Oh my God, I forget the full name now. But they used to say her whole entire name, and then we call it Shiva blasting. And she was at a convention, and I filmed myself doing an in-person Shiva blasting. And she thought it was like the funniest thing, because she was on record being like, I thought this was going to be a thing, but no one ever does it. I'm like, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to be the one guy who does it. But you're right. She has that moment with him, and I'm like, I don't even remember them talking. Earlier.
Yeah, like I remembered seeing her, but when she was like, "You were right," like I don't even remember what he was right about. And I started to scrub back through the movie, and I was like, "Why am I even researching this?"
Yeah,
I don't need to find that moment.
I didn't even care to look.
Also, the mystery with the Kate Blanchett was real obvious. As soon as she lands, the Claptrap, the robot, is like, "As soon as you land, I came back to life for no reason," and then it's all like, is the little girl the alien? It's like, no, it's Kate Blanchett. And you're just like waiting for it to happen. And then she grows wings and you're like, whatever, fuck you. It's not the worst thing ever. People were saying it was like the worst thing ever. It's not even the worst video game thing I've ever seen.
No.
Yeah. But on the wings thing though, by the way, they say that when you go and stand on the vault, you'll be consumed by it. And they say, well, it's not necessarily going to be a bad thing. It doesn't mean it'll destroy you. Yeah. But consumed is not a word that you can interpret as like, oh, I see. That meant you'll get wings. It's not like consumed as like a double meaning. Like,
and yeah, her hair doesn't change the entire time. Yeah, so Borderlands, I don't recommend it. It seems like if you like the game, it will be even worse for you. It's got a fun, decent-looking first act. I'll give it that. But yeah, it kind of falls apart and loses interest. And points for Kate Blanchett being a great actress and trying and giving it her all. Jamie Lee Curtis was phoning it in as Wacky Girl.
Yep.
But yeah, don't see it. Next up, Trap. From our hometown hero, M. Night Shyamalan. Philly boy, M. Night Shyamalan. And Josh Hartnett, who's having a big revival at the moment.
Yeah, somehow.
The Hartnett Assance.
Yeah. I love we got to a point now with M. Night where it's like, we're back to the point where like, oh, wow, the movie might be good. for a while it was like, oh, this movie's gonna be great, and then it was like, oh, this is all gonna be garbage. And now we're at a point where it's just like, I don't know, it might suck, but it might be funny. This is the story of just a dad wants to show his daughter a good time at a concert, and it turns out he's a murderer. He's a butcher, actually, and the entire concert is one trap to catch him. And he has to figure out an exit strategy to get out of here without drawing attention to himself. The musical person in the film is the director's daughter, not the daughter who did The Watchers. Apparently, M. Night has a different daughter who was a singer, so he cast her in his movie about a girl who sings. Nepotism.
He was like in the interviews, he said that, I was talking to my daughter and we were trying to figure out a movie we can make that puts music at the center. The music is crucial to the movie. And I was like, I mean, the music is in the movie.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. It wasn't really, it's not like the songs were relaying what was happening in the plot. That could have been something.
Yeah, like there's like clues in the songs. I mean, she did apparently write like 12 original songs for the movie. But yeah, I don't know if they achieved the experiment they set out to.
What I will say though about this actress, early on in the movie, she goes on a speech about how she had troubles with her father, and she mentions that she forgave her father. And I went, "You got to be kidding me! That's a running gag on this show." And I texted Crystal right away. I was like, "Did you see Trap? There's a whole message about forgiving fathers in it." Speaking of which, let's see Crystal update. No? Okay. Still building the computer, maybe. Still building it. But yeah, this movie, okay, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are first. Joey, what did you feel about Trap?
Well, I went with a big group, and
okay,
so half of us were like, wow, this fucking movie was awesome. And the other half was like, that was the dumbest fucking movie I ever seen in my life. And I gotta be honest with you, I really enjoyed it. I think what I really enjoyed the most was the entire time I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is going to happen next? Like, this was the first movie in a while, and maybe I'm just a moron, but I never got the fucking, I always would guess what would happen, but it would always be something different. I thought the daughter part was going to be like super fucking annoying. Like it was going to be a giant commercial for her music. It really wasn't. And I loved all the twists, and it kind of reminded me of like the old school Twilight Zone episodes where you're like, what the fuck's the twist going to be this time? And the ending is like really where it fucking came together. I thoroughly enjoyed the ending. This was
the ending is where okay, never mind.
I loved the ending, but this one I thoroughly enjoyed. It didn't feel like a movie. It felt like I was on like a fucking roller coaster ride. I just really enjoyed the experience of watching this movie, which I haven't felt in a really long time. So do with that information what you will.
Really
not since Borderlands.
Yeah. It's no Woody Woodpecker, man, but it's something.
Forgot we did the Woody Woodpecker.
It's so fucking bad. I hate that fucking thing.
Gil, do you agree it's movie of the year? That's what Joey basically just said.
I agree, Joey, for the first half. I did like the I think M. Night Shyamalan is great at shooting suspense, but it's always a question of how long will he be able to sustain it, and a lot of times the movie just falls apart. For me, that was about halfway through. But for the first half, I thought he did a great job portraying this creepiness where he's an actor acting like somebody who's acting, and everything he says sounds just normal enough that you believe the people around him would buy it, but just off enough that we know he's faking it. And they kept doing this trick where they would film him and whoever he's talking to dead center, so it looks like they're staring directly into the camera, and so it makes you really uncomfortable. Plus, setting it in the concert, it really does feel like a caged animal, and it just keeps closing in on him, and you just don't know what's going to happen when if they corner him, how bad are things going to go? So I felt very tense. And Joey, just like you said, I kept wondering, where is this going to go? Because it is a weird experiment where we're following this main character who's a bad guy. We know from the beginning that he's a killer. Though it's kind of cheating, this experiment, because it's like we got you to sympathize with the killer, but by not showing you actually him acting out any awful things. It's sort of theoretical to us.
Well, no. He did a couple bad things.
You know, he does eventually, but I'm saying for the first,
he shoots
Yeah.
grease into that girl's face and melts.
Oh yeah.
That's like 20, 30 minutes in though. So there's like a
Yeah.
good portion, at least at the beginning.
Yeah.
But without spoiling anything, just as the situation evolves in the movie and you lose some of those special elements I talked about, I feel like it starts to become more of just a generic kind of cat and mouse thing. And there's just nothing special to it.
Yeah. I really liked everything at the concert. I was really, really enjoying it. I know the acting is being criticized, but like, I think everyone acting weird is what will set it apart and make it memorable. No one is acting how a human would in real life. If the
true.
twist was that this was like a planet of like space aliens all pretending to be human, but they don't know each other are space aliens, and this is how they're communicating, I would believe it. Because like none of the conversations sound natural. Josh Hartnett is clearly lying, and everyone's like, okay. But like, no, I feel like that should annoy me. But for me, I'm just like, oh, this is hilarious. I got to keep watching this.
I did actually think, I was like, is this going to be a reveal where he's like, well, I guess I shouldn't say what I thought because that would be a spoiler, right?
Yeah,
That it wasn't
yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right, I won't say anything.
Well, I mean, we
I
spoiled
wouldn't.
that Kate Blanchett is the fire lady.
Yeah, we ruined Borderlands.
I refuse
good
to
until
ruin
then.
Trap. Yeah.
But yeah, so the two mysteries for me that were like engaging were like, how's he gonna get out? And how did they realize he was gonna be there? That was like a big mystery for me.
Oh, yeah.
They eventually answer it. The problem is like, it's very, very engaging. And I knew he was gonna get out and it was gonna go on for a little bit. Like I was fine with that, and I assumed it'd end on a cliffhanger. But then it ends on a cliffhanger, and then a cliffhanger, and then a cliffhanger, and then a cliffhanger, and it keeps going.
Yeah,
and
you're
going
right. I
and
kept
going.
thinking it was the end of the movie, and I was like,
I'm
they're
like,
still going? How long have I been
that's
here?
a good place to end it. And then it would go for like another 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, that's a good place to end it. And then it would keep going. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are they not ending this? Why? And like the very last shot of the movie, I was like, if the movie kept going on for 30 minutes, I would have believed it. I'm like, what the fuck? Just end. Why do we keep dragging this out? So it kind of got ruined for me in the third act where it just kept dragging everything out. And I'm like, no, you had a nice tight thing. It was fun when they got to the other place, but you got to like end it at some point. Although I do love when they were staring into the cameras, because that reminds me a lot of the shots in Silence of the Lambs. By the way, I stay in that Buffalo Bill house. I might have mentioned it earlier. Go back and check out the vlog. But no, there's a lot of shots in Silence of the Lambs where it's all head on, staring right into your eyes. Yeah, overall, though, I really enjoyed it, even though it does overstay its welcome. It's not great. I'll probably never watch it again. I'll probably just watch scenes of Josh Hartnett being a weirdo. That I will check out. But I don't know, Joey, you think should people see this?
Yeah, I think give it a shot. I think it's going to be hit or miss, but I think you should watch it because, like I said, it's an experience.
Yeah. What did you think, Gil, overall?
Yeah, I think it depends. If you're the kind of person where you have a very binary, like the movie was good or not, I would say skip it. But if you can tolerate, like I liked some of that, didn't like some of it, I would say it's worth seeing.
Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to get an update over here.
Also, Tony, I just realized that's Zeke in The Faculty.
Who?
Which Josh Hartnett.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I did not even that just clicked for me. Because we have a nice relationship with The Faculty, if you know.
We do. We actually reviewed The Faculty. It was a very oh, wait, never mind. She's logging in. Let's give it a second for her to log in. I was about to skip to another thing.
Wait, what happened with The Faculty? You said like you reviewed it, and then you're like, yeah. So
he was like going to tell a
happened?
story, and then just forgot.
That's where we did. Sorry, I was distracted. That's where we got the
drugs, not slugs.
The drugs, not slugs. More drugs, less slugs. So, Gil, I'm shocked you don't know this because you obviously watch every single episode I do 5 times. We got one of those like automated like spam calls during the episode. Oh, there she is. We'll let you in a second. Let me finish this freaking story. And like it was after we got to the point in the movie where drugs kill all the alien slugs. And it was about like fundraising for like the police to stop drugs. And I just kept fighting with this robot. I'm like, no, we need more drugs. And I just kept going because it was a robot and it didn't know when to hang up. And
It's worth
oh,
the
here we
watch.
go. Oh, hello, Crystal.
Hi. You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah,
I
we
have
can
no
hear you.
idea if this is set up right.
We can hear you. How's the weather in Florida?
Just a hurricane. It's cool.
Nice.
Oh, I sure hope nothing bad happens. I hear that interferes with internet, but let's try to be positive, okay?
No, it's on the other side, so I'm happy.
Well,
We're just getting one.
Well, let's pray that it gets. I mean, this is you. Hi, Crystal. How is Florida going?
It's great. It's great. I'm sorry I didn't have my computer set up. I've been really busy with my new job, going to the beach, going to the pool.
Yeah,
relaxing
I
in
love that
the
you
sun.
group those in with job, you asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad you're here because we finally got to one that you watched, Terminator Zero.
I did.
Okay, I found out about this a few months ago. It was like Netflix, anime. I'm like, well, I don't care for both of those things usually. But then they went Terminator, and I went, okay, I'll check it out. It seems to be removed from all the John Connor stuff, which I like. This tells the story of a family in Japan. It's right before Judgment Day, original Judgment Day, so 1997, original first movie timeline. And it's about how like humanity is dealing with robots. We see the future war, and Skynet going after people, like stuff that you've seen before. But in the past, we have this scientist who has developed his own AI, and he's developed it because he knows about Skynet, and he has to persuade it to counter Skynet's AI. So yeah, there's this whole ticking clock element of like, are they going to stop Judgment Day or not? Are they going to change things? It's got fun action sequences. I only got 4 episodes in, but I am pretty much hooked on it. Especially episode 4, the way it ends, like I'm on pins and needles. I want to see where it goes. We did a what is the worst Terminator episode a few years back. And look, I got a soft spot for 3, but after that, it really takes a sharp dive off a cliff. But that's why I wanted to check this out. Does Terminator, other than that one TV show, it hasn't really gone in too many. It's never gone in animation as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Joey, what did you think of Terminator Zero?
Big Terminator fan. This was fucking awesome. Also, side note, I also have a soft spot for 3. Great one.
Ooh, 3 is fun. 3 is fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah. Zero is like, it's great because it has like the best world building since I think like Terminator 2. And I think this like fresh new AI plot like breathes new life into the series. And I feel like moving this to a series format was best because there's so many time traveling paradoxes and holes that are just so confusing and hard to fit into like a 2-hour movie. I only watched a couple of episodes, but I'm actually really excited to watch more. This is really fucking awesome. I've never watched anime before, and I really don't watch any animation since Woody Woodpecker, of course. But yeah, this was
since
great,
the last
man.
time you've watched it, because you've watched it so many times.
This was awesome, man. It's no Woody Woodpecker, but it's pretty damn good.
Gil, where did you land on Terminator Zero? Is it the best Terminator since 2?
Yeah, I think there's no question about that. It's admittedly not a super high bar, but I like this show a lot. I think I stopped just short of loving it, and I think I can kind of encapsulate why in one scene from episode 1, where it's a rainy day, Malcolm is driving to the office, and then he sees this robot walking across the street. And it's very melancholy because he knows Judgment Day is right around the corner. And the robot kind of turns and looks at him, and they make eye contact. It's very melancholy music. It's very foreboding. It's a great vibe. And then the driver goes, "There's a storm coming in." And Malcolm's like, "You have no idea." So I think some of the dialogue's a little bit cringy.
I mean, that is how the first Terminator ends, Gil. There's a storm coming, and then Sarah's like, "You have
there's
no
a storm
idea."
coming is okay. And then tagging it with like, you have no idea. That's just like in the Continental where they're like, "Do you have any luggage for us?" And she's like, "Oh, you have no idea."
That's what they do in Terminator. I'm annoyed because it was a callback that you didn't really need. There is one where the girl goes, "He'll be back," and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a lot of storytelling and dialogue like that where it's a little bit clunky. Like I would say the entire storyline where Malcolm's talking to the AI, I love the concept of it.
Yeah.
There are some great emotional moments in their conversation, but when you actually listen to the words they're saying, I think I can imagine a great version of this, but it would have to be written by like a great sci-fi writer, like Arthur C. Clarke or something, where it's a guy arguing on behalf of humanity with an AI. But I feel like in this show, too often, it just sounds like it was written by an angsty teen that just discovered nihilism, where she's like, name one good thing humanity has ever done. He's like, Kokoro, I can't do that. And it's like, you can't name one thing. So it's a little bit cheesy in the storytelling sometimes, but I think on vibes with the acting and some of the action is great. I love that they bring back the horror elements where the Terminators will often have this very uncanny valley look on their faces, because there are certain points where they try to fit in and it's just super creepy. So overall, I liked it. It was actually, so Mattson Tomlin ran this show and he worked on the Batman. I almost felt about this very similar to how I felt about that movie, where if you dig into the substance, it kind of falls apart a little bit, but tonally it's so good and I enjoy it all the way through. It's just when you start to pick it apart, some of it falls apart.
Well, now, Crystal, what are your thoughts? I don't know. Do you like Terminator? Do you watch the movies? I don't even know. But what do you
No,
think
I'm a
about
girl.
it?
I don't watch action movies.
Do you even like robots?
Do you even know
What's
what
a robot?
is?
Huh? I'm confused. No,
yeah.
I loved it. I actually had no idea. I just saw the list of your movies, Tony. I didn't look into any single one of them. I had no idea what any of them were. Didn't look at a preview. Didn't look at even a description. Any of them. So I turned this on. I was like, oh shit, it's a cartoon. Sweet. And it was like very, animated as anime. And I was like, this is awesome. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna watch one episode. I don't have time to watch the others. I binge watched the entire season. I couldn't help it. I was hooked in the first 5 minutes. I at first thought it was nothing but a gory action anime. And then all of a sudden there's this story that's developing. And I was like, oh shit, like this is definitely a little bit more intense and involved than I was anticipating. And I just got hooked more and more because the story was definitely evolved every single episode.
Wait, I had a question. Girl who goes back in time to fight the Terminators. Did I miss something? Is she enhanced like the lady in the last Terminator movie? Or is she just a normal lady?
There's no indication that she's enhanced or anything.
Well, here's an indication. The Terminator is like punching her in the spine. I'm like, she should be dead.
That was one of my complaints with the action, is that I feel like the Terminators in general are too weak and a little bit inconsistent. Like when the first episode started, they do the classic thing where the Terminator's shooting at her with a machine gun and she's running and all the bullets are landing right behind her. And I was like, as a robot, shouldn't you know? You don't shoot where they are, you shoot where they're going to be.
Well, they also talked about later that the Terminators aren't perfect. And they definitely take the worst of humanity, but I don't think that they're truly perfect, because if they were, they would have already destroyed humanity.
Yeah.
Like there's clearly some things, because they keep doing that loop where they are going back in time and just kind of cycling over and over the same thing, but yet they don't succeed. So there definitely is some imperfection, which I do like, that they're not the perfect human, destroyers. I definitely do agree that some of the lines were cheesy, but it didn't bother me. It kind of brought it, the seriousness kind of back. I had a little bit more fun with it, because there was a lot of seriousness in it, especially with the kids. But I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting seeing that like robots already exist in the 90s, because that was, as far as I can tell, was never part of like the lore really. So that was kind of fun to see. Yeah, but really it was the conversations, even though they could have been better written, between him and the AI. What?
It says Rosario Dawson. Who was Rosario Dawson's voice?
She was the AI, Kokoro.
She was the AI.
What?
Yeah.
Apparently, Timothy Oliphant the Terminator? Because I haven't heard him say a goddamn thing.
He doesn't talk very much yet.
He doesn't talk
Why
basically
even
at all.
get him? What the hell?
Well, I kind of felt the same way about Rosario Dawson afterward. I'm like, she did a great job, but her voice is like so modified to sound like a robot. Where I'm like, I don't know that you needed her necessarily, but she did a good job.
I had no idea until I just saw that.
Yeah.
Until I saw the top. What did you guys think of the ending, though? Do you think it ended well?
I didn't get to the ending.
I haven't
Not
seen
yet.
it.
Anyone who actually watched it.
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
it to the end. I mean, I liked the ending. I think it works okay as a total ending. But I would like if they continued on to a second season. Like he said, Mattson Tomlin, that he wants like 5 or 6 seasons of it.
I can see that. I mean, it leads off as if there's going to be more,
For sure,
especially
yeah.
the very last shot. I think the very, I don't want to spoil it, but right before the end, when the big part happens,
Yeah, don't.
I wasn't the happiest of how that happened.
Yeah,
That's enough secretive, but not spoiling.
Crystal, the rule on this show is to not spoil anything except for that Kate Blanchett turns into a Firebird. That's the only thing we're allowed to spoil on this episode.
Yeah, I think if I'm thinking of the right thing, Crystal, I think I remember feeling like there were sometimes unclear stakes for big moments. So when they happened, they didn't land properly.
I agree.
And then it's like,
I agree.
The music and the visuals somehow override that, and they get me to feel what I'm supposed to be feeling.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I feel it.
Agree 1,000%.
But you're right, because I'm a bigger fan of the first Terminator movie. More people like the second one. So what you were saying about bringing the horror elements back, I like that when like they basically redo the scene where he goes through the police station from the first film. But it's way bloodier. The action is top notch. I love like the whole truck chase. That was really cool.
The anime is just beautiful. The style of anime, beautiful.
It's very well animated. It looks really, really great. Yeah, and one thing that's got me in the mood recently for this, I can't find my copy of it, but I went back and got the game Terminator Resistance. It's from the same people who did RoboCop Rogue City, which I loved last year. Everyone told me to go back and check out Terminator Resistance, and thank you for the recommendation. That game is great. So I had just started playing that like coincidentally, so I'm like in Terminator mode. So that really enhanced my viewing of this. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to finish the season. They got something good here. And like whenever a Terminator thing comes out that doesn't suck, everyone says it's the best thing since part 2. But for me, I do think this is the best thing since part 2. Because that's how people were pitching Dark Fate to me, guys. They were like, Tony, you got to see Dark Fate. And I went, why? The last 2 were really bad. And they're like, no, it's the best one since 2. And I'm like, that means absolutely nothing to me. The last 2 were really bad. And guys, I watched Dark Fate, and it was really bad. It was really bad. But that girl being enhanced, who we're about to talk about in the next film, is why I thought maybe this chick was enhanced. Because, like, the Terminator's punching her in the back. I'm like, isn't he, like, 3 tons? Shouldn't her spine be shattering? But yeah, that's all I got to say on Terminator. It's really, really good. Apparently, the whole series is good, so check it out. And next up, oh god, sorry, I forgot to show a picture of that guy and that guy. Oh, I had slides to talk about the things we were talking about. There's an example of the gore. Crystal,
there's way better examples of the gore. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Oh my god, the gore like was another level.
It was pretty cool. Next up, Speak No Evil. Of course I'm a bloody doctor. If you've been to the theater in the last 6 months, you've seen this trailer over and over and over and over and over again. They never stop playing. It's to the point where I saw this in the theater like a day or 2 ago, and I was waiting for them to play the trailer for this movie that I was about to just watch. Speak No Evil. It's a new movie starring James McAvoy. It is a remake of a movie that's 2 years old. I did not watch the original. It is on Amazon Prime to stream, but I was like, you know what? Let me go in fresh, so I'm not...
This is a remake?
Yes, that was one of the criticisms that people are like, wait, that other movie's only 2 years old. It also takes place in Europe, and most of it is in English. So people are like, why did they even bother remaking it? From what I heard, I did a stream with Adam and a bunch of guys, and someone told me that this one has like a completely different third act, maybe?
Yeah, I watched this one a few weeks ago because I love that trailer. And then when I found out it was a remake, I was like, oh, let me just go watch the movie now. I think this movie, as it existed in the original form, people would have hated it here.
Okay. Don't tell me what it is, because I think I'm going to go back and like watch that one and see how it compares. But yeah, there's a family that's kind of like down on their luck financially. They're living in London. They're vacationing in Italy, and they run into, I don't know, swingers. James McAvoy and his
Yep.
way younger girlfriend, and they tell them that they have to visit them at their place. So the family goes to this place to hang out with these people they don't know, and the people are creepy the entire time. And then bad stuff happens. Oh God, get out of here, Sauron.
Not as bad as that.
Yeah. I actually dug this one. I was digging it. I was wondering what the twist or what the revelation would be, but most of the movie is just this family trying to be polite and the people in the house just being real weirdos. It reminds me of the Cable Guy, where Matthew Broderick is just trying to be really nice to Jim Carrey, but Jim Carrey keeps like overstepping like his boundaries and doesn't know like when to draw it in, is being really, really creepy. So it has like that level of uncomfortableness the entire film. And then it turns into a schlocky. People are shooting and fighting each other. Joey, how did you feel about Speak No Evil? Did you see the original?
I have not seen the original,
Okay.
but now I'm curious. The beginning was really slow for me. First of all, I had to take a shit in the theater, so I was like, "Can we fucking hurry this up, man?" Because I really have to go to the bathroom. So then I ended up going, and everything was good. And by the time I got back in the middle of it, I was like, "What the fuck am I watching here, man? It's a totally different fucking movie." But if you hang in there, God.
And then
damn,
I realized I
good.
walked into the wrong theater.
I was on the edge of my seat, but this is like a great example of a movie where like something is fucked, right? But you just can't put your finger on it. And I think it's especially great because the horror of it kind of unfolds really slow. And on top of that, all the acting, in my opinion, was fantastic. I was thoroughly impressed. So if you can kind of get over that initial hump, I thought it was a really great movie.
What did you think, Gil?
I agree. I thought it was great. I think the whole setup is so perfect because it's perfect for horror because you have the building tension of things just keep getting weirder and weirder. But it's also perfect for this uncomfortable humor because it's so relatable. We've all been in a situation where you're with a group and you're like, I want to leave. This is just, these people suck. And you're with somebody else and you have to kind of signal them and you can't. And if you've never experienced that, then you're the people that the other people are trying. So it builds this like humorous tension, but also this like we have to get out of here. There's clearly something sinister going on. And actually, it's so frustrating that they released a second trailer that shows so much from later in the movie that I feel like spoils a lot.
Yeah, the second trailer wasn't as good as the first one. The first one has the Cotton Eye Joe song in it, and I was getting real excited when I would go to the theater. I'm like, oh, I'm going to hear the Cotton Eye Joe song, and then it wouldn't play, and I get really mad.
You're like, I'm a bloody doctor. Like, Tony,
of course,
he's
a blood. That's all right. It was never really clear toward the end, without spoiling everything. Do you think at one point he was a bloody doctor? I'm still not sure.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think the movie has a challenge because the more it can push things, the more tense it's going to be. But also, if you go too far, it starts to stretch credulity because at a certain point, like, of course you would leave. Like, the feeling that you don't want to be impolite is only so powerful. But I think this movie generally struck the balance. And I actually think they struck it a little bit better than the original, probably because they watched it and they got to just make a few little tweaks here and there. But I also think if you watch the original, it's trying to be satirical and really exaggerate things to point out that thing we all do, which is we try overly hard to be polite, sometimes at the cost of failing ourselves and not doing what we really want to do or standing up for ourselves. The one thing I would say is that in the family's fight for survival, there is an obvious weak link in the family. And I started to get pretty annoyed where I'm like, I just can't take this like look on his face anymore where he's just always like, huh, huh. And maybe it's just because I'm still coming off Boys Month and I felt like he was failing us. But overall, I really liked it.
That's true.
Yeah, this guy could benefit from Boys Month. He could benefit from our Alpha Chad energy. No, put your arms down. My arms aren't good enough yet. God damn it.
Yeah, I forgot the rules.
And I almost made a joke and I forgot we were live, Joey, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I almost made a really uncomfortable inside joke. Crystal, what did you think of Speak No Evil? Did you think this family were being really rude to James McAvoy and that he was the good guy?
I absolutely love this movie. One, I didn't see any of the trailers. Not a single
Have you not
one.
been to a movie theater in 6 months?
Probably not. All the movies that we were reviewing and stuff have been streaming. I honestly don't. The only movies is any movie I've gone to in the past 6 months was with you because you paid for my ticket.
I think we've seen this trailer once or twice. But anyway, all right.
Okay, Tony.
I mean,
I show up late to everything. So I show up 5 minutes after the movie's already started.
You are very forgetful. You forgot that we were going live at 8. You forgot to hook up your computer.
Oh my God. You've been doing 8:30. I haven't been around.
I've done 8:30 in a bit.
When? The last time I was on it was at 8:30.
So what did you think of the movie?
I
Anyway.
miss this. It's always fun being in the middle of it.
Me and Gil are in a fucking fighting sandwich.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
feel like right now, Joey, you and I are this family, and then we have like James McAvoy above us. Like, Joey, we gotta get out of here.
All right. So what did you think of the
So
film?
I had no idea what this was even about. I saw Speak No Evil. I thought maybe it was about demons. I literally had no idea. I didn't know there was an original. Like I said, went through your list. I was like, okay, let me try and stay relevant on this damn show. So I'll hurry up and watch as much as I can real quick.
Yeah.
Loved it. The beginning, I had no idea what was happening. So I was sucked in. I was like, what is going on? I don't know what this movie's about. Like, I'm waiting to figure it out. I thought it was fantastic. I have never said, and I've never really watched a movie and said anything out loud until this one. I am sitting there. I've been seeing the movies. I feel like Tony because I'm seeing them by myself. And sitting there, and I literally say out loud, I'm like, go! Like, I couldn't. I was like, what? I couldn't. It was like anticipation. I was squirming. I felt it. It was very raw. And it was nothing but twist and twist as it was going on. More was evolving, especially towards the end. It just started steamrolling, especially towards the end where, am I allowed to spoil?
No, it's good.
When someone dies, the last person die or was about to die, I was like, just fucking shoot him! Like, I just, and then when that very last kill, I was like,
that was satisfying.
Yes!
I thought the movie was gonna like give one last like, come on, and that was satisfying.
Yes,
I have a question.
Like, yes.
I have a question for all three of you. How many times would you have gone back for that bunny?
I would have said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, literally.
I would have ditched the bunny right away.
So fast.
And I would rather hear that girl scream and yell than go back for that bunny and deal with all that stuff. And then the last time they went for the bunny, I was like, no, don't get up there. Just leave.
Yes.
Just leave.
Like, don't you think, like, why is it up? But did no one else see them put it up there? Because they were standing there the entire time. 2 of them, or
It's
the
a little
4 were
confusing
standing
when
there.
people are doing what. I do want to go down the line here. I want to ask, Joey, what was the most uncomfortable moment that's not spoilerish that made you uncomfortable?
It was by far in the beginning because I thought they were swingers. I'm like, where the fuck is this going? Man?
That was the most.
I'm like, I was getting nervous for him. I'm like, oh fuck, did they get tested? Is there safety? Does a friend know where you're going? I was scared. I was sweating. I'm sweating thinking about it.
Gil, what was the most uncomfortable moment for you?
The first one that came to mind was at the bar where they were demonstrating their role playing.
Yeah, that was the one that did it for me. What about you, Crystal?
Yeah.
Was it the bar?
I don't know if uncomfortable is the right word. Maybe intrigued.
Okay, wait. Here's a funny thing about.
Yeah.
I have a funny fact about the bar. That poem he recites is called "This Be the Verse." About the parents fucking you up is like they fuck you up, your mom and dad. He recites a whole poem. I know that poem because on Kaylee's show we did Zardoz and we got talking about poetry, and she revealed that her parents had that poem like since she was a baby. That poem's been hanging in her room. Her parents gave her that poem, and I'm listening to and she recites the whole poem, and I'm like, oh wow, Kaylee, you're like fucked in the head. But I'm sitting in the theater listening to the poem, like, wait, I know this weird shit. And I text her, I'm like, Kaylee, I'm in the theater right now. It was 1 p.m. on like a Tuesday. I wasn't bothering anyone. I'm like, I'm in a theater right now, and James McAvoy is saying that creepy poem, and she's like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
So her parents gave her a poem about never having kids.
Yeah.
Got it. Like,
Yeah.
Don't do it. Your parents are going to fuck you up. Here you go, kid. Here's the poem.
Yep. And Kaylee turned out great. Anyway,
I'm surprised my parents didn't give me that poem.
I will
Oh,
say,
wait, never mind, because they don't read poetry. Be surprised if they read.
I will say, without spoiling too much, when it is revealed like what their plan is, I was kind of let down. But there is like an accomplice who basically calls them out and is like, "Why do you drag this shit out?" And I'm like, no, that guy's got a point. I wouldn't have included that line because now I'm thinking like, oh, I thought that was like there was some bigger meaning to what you're doing, but you guys are just fucking assholes.
Yeah, that's what they said. They were playing with their food.
Well, one thing,
but yeah,
Crystal, when you said when you said it was making you talk out loud,
Yeah.
I've never heard this at a theater before, but there was somebody in the movie who kept making this sound when he had a realization. You would just hear like, oh, like every few minutes.
It was
It
me.
was little
That was
things.
me. I had to take a shit, so that was me.
So next up, oh, it's back! Everyone's favorite show, The Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings Season 2, baby! Most expensive show of all time, baby! Oh, man. Crystal and Gil, you guys don't look thrilled. Did you not watch the biggest show of all time?
No.
No, you gave me Agatha and you gave me Lord of the Rings. You can't get both of those.
Joey C., what did you think of? I mean, obviously you loved Rings of Power Season 1. Who's your favorite
Clearly.
character? Mine's Disa. Where are my Dees freaks at?
Yeah, fuck it's right here, baby.
The funny thing is, she actually is one of the better characters in the show, and that was the one all
know.
the right-wing grifters were complaining about the most. I'm like, no, she actually has a personality.
I know.
Did you watch Season 1, or did you just skip to Season 2? I know how you love to skip things, Joey.
Yeah, fucking skipped right to Season 2, baby.
Oh, which spoils the big reveal from Season 1. Okay.
Yep. All right, I watched
right,
the
so-
YouTube recap. We were good.
So I watched... Yeah, sorry.
No, you go.
So I watched the first 2 episodes of this season. I was real lukewarm on Rings of Power Season 1. I was like, yeah, I get it. All right, I guess that's kind of interesting. They're explaining these mysteries that were never fleshed out in the book. But at the end of the day, I was like, I actually just don't care about any of this. The one big mystery in Season 1 was which of these characters is Sauron. And we learned that it is some dude that Galadriel finds. I was actually intrigued with the beginning of this season because they show Sauron played by a completely different actor. The orcs all turn on him because he's trying to replace Morgoth. And we see him rebuild himself, which I thought was like a real cool moment. It reminded me of like Hellraiser, Frank trying to rebuild himself. But the effect they landed on was the Molded from Resident Evil 7. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, no, that's literally, they must have played Resident Evil 7. That's literally that character. So basically this season, yeah, that he's reborn. This season, I'm kind of more on board for, which is kind of weird because of how like lackluster the first season is, because it's all about Sauron manipulating everyone to use the ring so he can control them. And I'm like, all right, if there was anything in the Lord of the Rings past that I would want to see, it would be that. And the first season, they kind of danced around it. He was like doing a long con, but now he's like in it. He's like, okay, I got to go back and get the guy to make more rings. I got to plant ideas in this person's head. I got Galadriel corrupt with power. So yeah, there's just, there's more at stake, I guess, for this season. But I'm only 2 episodes in. Apparently it gets bad. I don't know yet. But what I'm really watching for is the first live action appearance of Tom Bombadil, everyone's favorite Lord of the Rings character, who has never been in any of the adaptations, as far as I could tell. I don't even know if he's in the animated ones. But yeah, I'm a Tom Bombadil bro. Where my Tom Bombadil bros at? I'm gonna keep watching until Tom Bombadil. If I'm left out by Tom Bombadil, I'm quitting the show. Joey, are you so happy that Tom Bombadil is finally in the Lord of the Rings cinematic universe?
Oh, I couldn't be more happy, man. Could not be more happy. We got to celebrate now.
Gil, is this enough to get you to start watching Rings of Power, finally seeing Tom Bombadil?
I'll wait for you to report back once you see him.
Crystal,
Yeah.
who do you think Tom Bombadil is?
Tony, I haven't been listening to you since you put the slide up.
Tony, can you say Tom Bombadil a few more times?
You know what? I can look up the song that he sings in the book if you want. Tom Bombadil song.
Please.
I will say they released the guy did the Tom Bombadil song and they released the track, but it's way too slow and somber. Like you need to sing that song like you're a fucking asshole who's screaming. So yeah, that's all I got. I'll report back, guys. So far, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, season 2. It's intriguing me, but who knows how long it'll keep my interest. I actually forgot a lot about season 1. I forgot most of the characters. But yeah, I will let you know if Tom Bombadil is win or not, because we all love old Tom Bombadil, right?
Thank you so much for doing society such a big favor. You are our national hero, Tony.
I'm
Tom
happy for-
Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo, by water, wood, and hill, by reed and willow, by fire, sun, and moon. Hearken now and hear us. Come, Tom Bombadil, for our need is near us.
Wow, that was beautiful, man. That was
Just
so
for the
beautiful.
people stumbling on the clipped out version of this video that don't know who you are and the algorithm for some reason put it on their home screen.
Yeah. Just
to those people, I'm speaking to you. Just don't associate me with this. I don't know how I'm going to get here.
I probably should explain.
Yeah.
Early
And check
in
out
Fel-
Tony's other stuff. This is not his...
Yeah, you know what? To find out who Tom Bombadil is, Tom Bombadillo, go back and watch our Fellowship of the Ring review. We go into great detail on there.
Gil, this is Tony's finest work. What are you talking about? It doesn't get better than this. If they've seen the show, if they will see the show, it doesn't get any better.
It's true.
All right, we have 3 left. Let's just do a mid, super chat. Get your super chats in, everyone, and your bits on Twitch. Let's see here. Who's up first? Psycho Jet Black. Does Tony's round face jiggles when he talks? Okay, let's no one answer that question. Does my round face jiggle? Hi.
No, not a chance.
I reject the
It's
premise
chiseled.
of that question.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
have a
you,
round
Gil.
face.
Aussie Dragoon for $5. Tony basically lives at the Neshaminy Creek Brewery. He may have a problem. They have screenings there often, and I usually have a table where I promote the show. But this is going to be like a big event that you're not going to want to miss. Gil said he's flying in from New York to attend it. He just said that. He just said
If I'm
that right.
flying.
I'm driving from New
like
York.
a
What do you mean?
12-minute
What about
flight.
me?
Gil doesn't want to drive through my bad neighborhood. He's flying into okay, who's next here? Okay. Future movie actor, $5. The Power Rangers Turbo movie was theatrically released, by the way. Guys, I know. That video is like 3 years old now. I know. I made a mistake. I thought the Turbo movie went direct to video. Apparently it was in theaters for 2 weeks, and that counts as a theatrical run.
Can you bring back Tony was wrong episodes?
Fuck you. Although I do think that was Borderlands theatrical run, to be honest, or The Crow. Lionsgate, they're really 2 for 2 this year. Aussie Dragoon for $5. When are we getting merch of official Joey C as Woody Woodpecker? Joey Woodpecker, but the C is capital.
I'd rather fucking paint my walls red.
But
That's
people would
just
probably
terrible.
buy it, Joey. People would probably buy it.
I'll be shirtless, and then it'll be like that.
Arms down! Arms down! God
Sorry.
damn it!
Sorry about that.
AJ Whistle for $9 Looney Tunes. Tony, here's a few bucks for mentioning the Craft Legacy last week. Yeah, we got to keep mentioning the Craft Legacy. Guys, he tricked me. For the mailbag, he sent me a book called Crafting a Legacy about sculptures at the Philadelphia Art Museum from 2002, and I didn't get it until I'm editing the video. In the video, me and Johanna are like, what is this? And I'm editing it. I'm like, oh, motherfucker, that was a subtle Craft Legacy thing. He loves his Craft Legacy. Future movie actor, $5. Best Hey Arnold movie review. The first one, The Journal and the Jungle movie. Hannibal show never acknowledges Starling. Clarice show acknowledges Lecter. Okay. I guess we're doing a Best Hey Arnold review. Does anyone remember enough about Hey Arnold?
Fuck yeah.
Of course.
You're a real.
I saw the
We're not animals.
that they came out with like a reboot or like a Lego sequel recently. They brought it back.
Yeah,
and I thought that movie
didn't-
was
I didn't
pretty
bother with
disappointing. I didn't like it. I didn't like
I
it.
was gonna watch the Rocko's Modern Life one, then I heard it sucked. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay happy with my memories of Rocko's Modern Life. Psycho Jet Black for $5. This one's for Crystal. Crystal, why didn't you tell your friends about being on Hack the Movies with Round Face Tony? Also, forgive the movie Cats and review it. # forgiveness. Is my face round? Now my head is big and my face is now round. What the fuck?
And it jiggles apparently.
I never said that.
I don't have any friends. So
Oh, Jesus
Tony,
Christ.
I think Tony
Oh.
might unfortunately be one of my only friends. Gil, Joey C, can you guys be my friends? Because I can't just have Tony. Oh wait, Johanna.
Wow, way to forget about her. Oh wait, no,
I'll never
we hate
forget about her.
Johanna.
Wow.
Her.
You didn't even give us a
Jess,
chance.
and
You just
Lauren
tossed us
Soto
aside.
sabotaging my birthday episode. Did you guys see that? Did you see my
No.
Birthday episode being
Horrible.
sabotaged?
I forgot
Can't
it was your
believe
birthday.
it.
Did you see all the other people's birthdays it was though that day?
No, fuck you.
Come on, dude.
They left me in a cemetery and they reviewed Charlie's Angels on my show without me. Look, it's not the worst thing that ever happened in September, but it's up there. Psycho Jet Black for $2. What are the best and words Rosario Dawson movies?
Fuck yeah, I'll give you 3 of the best. Men in Black 2, Rent, and Clerks 2. What do you mean?
Agree. Oh, what about kids?
And Kids.
Thank
What
you.
about The Rundown?
That's all right.
Oh,
Rundown's
Sin
fuck
City.
you.
She was in Sin City too. She was
Sin
pretty good in
City's a good
that.
Oh
one.
yeah, Sin City's great.
What was a
I
bad one?
love.
What's a
I've
bad
met
one?
Rosario Dawson, and
Oh.
she.
No, okay, finish your story. Sorry. I thought of a
Thanks,
bad one.
Tony.
I thought of
Oh,
a bad one.
She is just as beautiful in person as she is in the films, and she is so genuine and so nice and nowhere near a diva. I
Really?
like almost stumbled over my words. Her and
Really?
Julianne Moore, literally the most beautiful, genuine people I've ever met.
Well, her worst
right.
movie. I need to actually revisit this one. It has to be Adventures of Pluto Nash, one of the biggest box office flops of all time.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a movie until right now. I might be putting that on the list. You know, Manny Muskets probably has a lot to say about Pluto Nash.
I'm sure.
Psycho Jet Black. God, did you just get? Was it payday? Jesus. $2. Joey C. Who is the greatest heterosexual in history?
It's a fight between Tony and Gil, so they have to fight it out, but it has to be shirtless with lots of baby oil. So whoever
No,
wins
you
that
don't
one,
mention
that one
baby
wins.
oil this month, Joey C.
Oh,
It's
that's
a very
right, that's
hot
right.
button issue.
Yeah.
sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah.
It's Psycho Jet Black. A better movie: WWE See No Evil or Speak No Evil. See No Evil is all about eye stabbing, and it stars Kane. So
Yep.
Speak No Evil beats it.
For sure.
I did unbiased reviews of both those See No Evil movies, and I did them as I was recovering from eye surgery. And I'm like, this is completely unbiased,
Ugh,
not putting any
God.
real feelings into this. Psycho Jet Black for $2. Gil, what other movie stretches its credulity?
Face Off.
Okay.
You
This is
can't
the
trade.
David
You
Lynch
can't
moment.
trade faces like that. That's crazy.
I was waiting where you going with that.
I was going to do the famous David Lynch thing where the guy goes, care to elaborate? And Lynch just goes, no.
That's great.
Crystal, for Psycho Jet Black for $2. Crystal, who is the worst heterosexual in history?
I don't know. You.
Well, fuck you.
Oh my god, dude.
Lenny Laserdisc for $4.99. Everyone has to do 2 things. 1, go see The Substance because it's amazing. Yes, I do. I found out about that movie too late. I will try to maybe include it next month or on the end of year.
What is it?
It's what's her face? Demi Moore wants to be young, and it's like a body horror thing. She turns into a hot lady, and
It's like a satire about how Hollywood like chews you up and
Yes.
spits you out, right? I've heard really
Yes.
good things too.
and 2, everyone forgives their fathers. Good night. Well, Crystal, I
Yeah.
told earlier that in the trap.
I
movie,
heard.
the
I
girl-
was listening. I was listening the entire time as I was building my computer.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I
was
know.
watching-
I
yeah.
know.
All right.
I know. But guess what? My ass is in another state. I can't even see him anymore. So it's not like I was
Okay,
going
all
to in the
right,
first
get your-
place.
Get your super chats in. Let's continue with the show. Okay. She's back, baby. Agatha Harkness. Agatha All Along. It's Agatha. I don't remember the song. WandaVision was okay. I think most people, it was the first of the Disney Plus Marvel shows. I think most people really enjoyed it early on, and then it had like kind of a dumb ending where like everyone felt bad for Wanda, even though she was clearly a bad guy.
They'll never know what you sacrificed.
Yeah.
What, her imaginary
Yeah.
kids who weren't real? What the fuck? But yes, they decided since everyone liked that song for 1 week, we got to bring Agatha back and give her her own spin-off. I don't think we needed to do that. I think
I liked her character.
I liked her character too, but did we need a whole show? Not really.
Why not?
Well, if it's a good show.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first episode was interesting because it was kind of parodying how WandaVision was, where each episode felt like it was referencing like a different series. So Agatha is apparently stuck in like a true crime drama. We find out that she is still in Wanda's spell, but since Wanda died in Multiverse of Madness, it's now cracking and breaking apart. And she breaks out of her spell, and now all these witches want to kill her. And she has no powers, so she has to go on the witch's road. And
Tony,
summon
don't
a-
spoil it. I only saw the first episode.
It's the only
Yeah, I think
two
you're already in
episodes.
episode 2, I think.
It's only
Yeah.
on. I only watched 2 episodes.
I only watched one.
They conjure up the witch's
I
road.
don't even know who these people are yet.
Yeah, these aren't.
They're not in the first episode.
I know. Well, they technically are, some of them. But what's it called? Kitty from That 70s Show is
Yes.
in WandaVision. She comes back as her character. But yeah, they decide to go on the witch's road to get her power back and figure out all these mysteries while they're being hunted by evil witches, including a
Yes.
smoking hot Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, fuck yeah. My
Uh,
God.
Yeah.
She is God.
Look, I mean, I
Ugh.
stopped watching Marvel Disney Plus shows. I don't know what's going on in that universe, so this is my first time tapping back in. I thought it was whatever. I mean, I guess I'll finish it since I started it, but nothing's really grabbing me except for the singing scene, which everyone complained about. They were comparing it to The Acolyte, which had a cringe singing scene. But I got to the singing scene in this show. I'm like, no, this makes sense because they're witches. Why is everyone complaining? Joey, what did you think of Agatha All Along?
Well, I really enjoyed WandaVision because I covered it for a company that shall not be named. But I'm a
Okay.
pretty casual fan. I thought the plot, the acting, and the backdrop were fucking awesome. Although the CGI and special effects just are screaming early 2000s. But I dug the satire / like comedic tone mixed in. It kind of suits well with Agatha's character. Catherine Hahn is great. I think she plays like a great clueless, delusional detective. Plus, I want to see more of Aubrey Plaza. My
Mhm.
God, I'd get on my knees for that. Let me tell you. And the duo really complement each other, and they could just go on screen and sort paper clips for all I care. I'd still watch it. So it was fantastic.
Gil, are you excited to include this in your 5th MCU timeline recap?
Yeah, I can't wait.
As someone who's experienced every single frame of the MCU, what did you think of this one?
Several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched one episode. I think at a certain point, I just realized I just don't think the show is for me. Maybe other people would enjoy it, but I found like the first 25 minutes of episode 1 are all in the True Detective style thing. And I just didn't really get it because in WandaVision, first, I think they were very good at recapturing the vibe of the Dick Van Dyke Show. Like it felt like a genuine homage. Versus here, it feels a little more like they're trying to parody it, but I didn't think it was that funny, but I also don't think they played it that straight. And this didn't have the mystery aspect. Like WandaVision, there was that sense of what the heck is going on here? But here, they're trying to do the same trick again, and we kind of already know the answer to that. And then on top of that, I'm not really invested in this character. She was the villain in the first season back in WandaVision, and they don't really do anything further to endear me to this character and get invested in her fate. So for the first part of the episode, I just don't know why I'm watching a not very good iteration of True Detective. And then once it actually starts and Aubrey Plaza reveals that she wants to kill Agatha, I just felt like that a lot of that was clunky. Just trying to lay out the rules, like while they're fighting, you can't kill me, it's not allowed. And I also just found it weird, like, so she convinces Aubrey Plaza not to kill her or not to make her suffer now, because wouldn't it be more satisfying to wait until I have my powers? So just trying to figure out the line for Plaza. It was like she could have easily attacked her earlier while she was lost in this True Detective spell, but I guess you wanted her to be lucid. And then once she wakes up, she's like, do you remember why you hate me? No. So she's still not all the way lucid, but she partly is, but I guess that's good enough to start attacking her. It all felt kind of fuzzy to me. And then it starts to become like, there's like a lot of sexual tension between them. And so I'm like, maybe it does that thing where two people are fighting, but they don't actually want to kill each other. It's like a Pirates of the Caribbean scene where they're sword fighting and everyone's just having a good time. And so I didn't really feel any stakes or investment or anything to pull me into the next episode and see where it's going. I will say, I know there's a lot of hate on the show right now. I didn't find it like totally unwatchable. Like I thought it was fine. I'm just not, I didn't get invested in it.
Yeah, people are hating it. It's like, it's mostly guys like, wait, guys, you're watching a show about like angry, bitter female witches and you didn't expect lesbian stuff in there? Like, I mean, that's pretty on the nose there. Speaking of angry, bitter women, Crystal, did you watch the first episode?
I did. I did. I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, everything they're complaining about, like, oh, the sexual tension, gay stuff, them singing.
It's all.
They're like, yeah, that's witches, guys. I don't know.
Have you not heard myself and Johanna talk? Like, we're both like witches, and we love women as well.
They're saying it's the gayest project yet. All right, what did you think of WandaVision?
I mean, if it's gay with if it's gay with Audrey Plaza, I will watch every day. I agree a lot with Gil. I was very confused in the beginning. I do like Agatha's character in WandaVision. I thought she was strong, especially at the end. I was invested in her, but I was hoping to come into that same character, and she was just and I understand it was supposed to be almost like a completely different character, but give me some sense of not being a weak bitch. Like, that is not who she is. Even in WandaVision, she wasn't. She still had some strength within her. And during this, I was like, you're sitting by a dead woman and you're about to cry. Like, I'm confused.
Well, she's been stuck in a weird spell for 3 years.
Still, it just... I'm also confused with that weird spell. Is anyone else, like, how does that play at the end of WandaVision? And then that weird... Because at the in the vision, in the beginning, Scarlet Witch is dead. Yeah. I'm guessing that's just, she's gone.
Yeah. So the spell is like fractured because she's not alive.
So the spell changes her from nosy neighbor to true detective. Of course.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. It just switched her.
But she was broken out of that already. She knew who she was. She took her into that base. Like,
at the way end, Wanda punishes her by trapping her forever in the personality of the nosy neighbor. So that's where we last left.
That was the very end of WandaVision. Yeah.
Yeah. She's not a nosy neighbor. Like, how did this transition into this true detective?
I'm guessing when Wanda died and the book was destroyed in Doctor Strange 2, it like fucked up the spell. I don't know.
The neighbor says like lately you seem to be on a true detective kick. So it just seems like her death.
Her. Yeah.
It's weird.
I tried to write some headcanon where I was like, maybe subconsciously she doesn't understand what's going on. So now that she's no longer under Wanda's spell, her mind instead conjures, I'm a detective. What do I know about detectives? Last thing I watched was True Detective, which is less satisfying than Wanda conjuring the Dick Van Dyke Show, because that was the thing her family watched to cope with the horror of everything going on around them.
Yeah.
But at least all the other people were aware. This one, no one is aware of the true detectiveness happening. In the other one, everyone played that part of being
it's like
that
in your head, I guess. Although some of it isn't. That's the
well, Wanda's spell had encapsulated the whole neighborhood. And now Agatha, at the end of WandaVision, she was the only one still trapped in the spell.
Yes.
And so they said they were all just playing along with her because, like, oh, you're crazy now. So we're all just going to, like, people would visit to check in on her.
Yeah. It just...
Why everyone's okay living next door to an evil witch who at any point could... I don't know, but...
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm very off on. Yes, I agree. At just the beginning, I don't like that transition. I wish it had a better... Sure, you want to do a fake out? I wish I had a better story in the beginning. I am very curious. I think the rest of the episode makes you curious about the rest of the season because you don't know what's happening. I hope it explains a lot more. Like I said, I've only seen the first episode. I hope it explains more because I was very confused, but I was really just watching Audrey Plaza the entire time. I could have watched that on mute.
Yep.
And I like the ending credits a lot. It had a whole bunch of flashback, all different types of witches, which I am absolutely fascinated with. I love that stuff. And I thought that was cool, and I definitely want to see more, but I'm also nervous I'm going to be very disappointed in it. And I don't think Audrey Plaza's character is actually a Marvel character. I believe, because I know she's supposed to be a green witch, apparently. Because I read a little bit. I didn't want to go into spoilers, but I was like, what character is she? And I was like, this doesn't exist. And it's supposed to be like a green witch, but incorporating other characters. I'm not sure. Anyone?
They do that. They'll combine different characters together.
Yeah.
It is funny when you watch like a new MCU thing these days. Like, here's the story of a bunch of lady witches going to a magical land to do all this stuff, and I have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, this started with Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. I keep forgetting this is in the same fucking continuity. I'm like, wow, so there were witches this whole time. Okay, that's just something I have to remember now. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't know if I'm gonna dive back into the MCU. There's still a lot I haven't seen. I didn't see Werewolf by Night, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Echo. I didn't watch any of that stuff.
Did you watch? How many episodes of this did you watch?
Just two.
Does the second episode get better?
Yes, the story actually starts in the second episode.
Okay.
They go on like a mission. And there is a
Is it really cliche though?
Not yet.
Okay.
I will say, I can spoil something. They have to sing a song to get to the Witch's Road. And she grabs her neighbor, Kitty, from that 70s show, who's not a witch. And then they're all singing the song, and she doesn't know the words, but then she joins in, and it's really funny, because she's, like, off-key with all of them. That's all I got to say about that. I'm going to watch more of it, but so far, it's an okay from me. I don't think I've watched any of these since Moon Knight, which was also an okay from me. But yeah, that is Agatha All Along. Two left. First up, In a Violent Nature. This is the indie darling slasher film told from the point of view of a slasher, inspired by a lot of these slasher games like Friday the 13th. Now, the idea is like, hey, what if you were watching a slasher movie, but you only interacted with the humans when the slasher was there, and the whole time you're just following the undead killer, and it's just him for long periods of time stalking. Would that be interesting for 30 minutes?
No.
Would it be interesting for over an hour?
No.
Let's find out. Crystal already spoiled it. Josie, what did you think of In a Violent Nature?
It's a pretty slow burn, I think.
Oh, was it slow?
But I think like I think my attitude towards it would be different if I was with like a group of my friends. It's no Terrifier 2, but it's still pretty brutal and gory. And it's kind of like a fresh and interesting idea. I just don't think it hit that well. Another interesting I actually like really enjoyed was the ambient sound throughout. That I really fucking enjoyed. Like there's literally no music until the end. And that was like, from a filmmaking point of view, that was really awesome to see. So just that point alone was really cool. I really dug that. So like I said, if I was with people, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, but Joey C had a little too many magical brownies and did not.
Magic brownies now?
Did not.
I can't imagine how slow it was.
It was real slow, dude.
He accidentally had the movie on pause for 6 hours. He won't move.
Gil, what did you think of this movie? Did you like the part where you saw the killer's back?
Yeah. You get to see so many different forms of back. You see him without the jacket on. You see him without the hat on. I think I liked it better than you guys did, but not by much because I
didn't say if I liked it or not, but keep going.
Well, I was speaking to the people who have spoken up to this point.
Okay.
I apologize, Tony. I shouldn't have assumed that.
Tony doesn't count. It's fine.
I automatically give the movie points just for trying something different. And after watching so many movies recently, just to see something where you're like, a guy walking, and nothing happening. I haven't seen that before. And if you are patient with it, I do feel like it starts to work. Like the tension of watching him just walk towards someone, and especially considering how large he is, you just start to imagine what's going to happen when he actually starts killing and just destroying people. And Joey, you mentioned Terrifier, and I thought of that movie too, because one thing that's really creepy is when you see somebody just dismantling a person and killing them slowly and methodically.
Yoga kill is pretty brutal.
Oh yeah,
God.
and just the kind of matter of fact way they do it. There's a scene in the short film Terrifier. A girl walks into a gas station and sees the clown just cutting a guy to pieces, and he kind of just looks up while he's in the middle of it, and there's just no reaction from him at all, and that calmness is so creepy, and they do that in this movie too. But I will say, watching a person walk around can try your patience, and about halfway through the movie, I feel like I was starting to run out of it, and that also happens to be the point where people start to become aware of him, and it starts to become like a normal slasher just from his perspective, and I feel like it does the slasher thing of characters making very stupid decisions. Like these two friends get into an argument where one of them is like, I think there's a lot of people missing. I think maybe they're dead. Maybe we should leave. You want to leave? Go! And he throws his keys into the woods. That's just one example. There's a bunch of others. Basically, every decision from that point on is so dumb, I have to assume it was intentional. And I've seen people call the movie satirical, but I don't know what it would be satirizing. And I saw a quote from the director where he said, "We didn't want to make this a mockery or a satire of what a slasher traditionally is. We wanted to pay homage to those films." So it's not a satire. And I think what the movie does so well, like Joey, what you mentioned, how there's no score, it feels like it's got a very documentary feel. So when he's killing, it feels like he's actually killing people, and it's horrifying. But when you start to have these ridiculously over-the-top poor decisions, even coming down to the necklace, if you remove that necklace, a dead guy comes to life and starts killing people. Maybe don't have it just hanging in the woods where anyone can grab it. He's like, "You took the necklace. Why would you do that?" "Because it's hanging there. I found a necklace in the woods." You didn't even think to put up a sign that says, like, "Don't take necklace. Dead guy will kill you."
Why was it not buried with the killer? Wouldn't that make sense?
It doesn't make any sense. Like, he wants the necklace, but I don't want to hold it. If you make me hold it, I'll kill you. I want it hanging 7 feet above me. Okay?
Well, Crystal, what did you think? Is this the greatest slasher you've ever seen?
Absolutely not. I heard a lot of people on Twitter and stuff, a lot of people in the horror family and community really do love this film, and I'm all about supporting indie films, low budget films. It just get off, Bubby.
Showing your cat on stream is not good luck.
Yeah,
I'll
we've
tell
been
ya.
over this. I mean, although Joey continues.
I've
to break the
had
rules,
Bub
but
here.
okay.
He's still here. He made it to Florida with me. Okay, he just followed behind. When I first put it, I think my expectations for this film were very high because so many people wanted to watch it or said good things about it. I put it on. I actually backed out of it about at least 5 minutes in because I thought something was wrong with my screen. I said, "Is the audio just going and I'm not seeing anything? Like, is there something wrong?" Literally backed out and went back in. I was like, and my boyfriend's in there. He's like, "I think that's the movie." And I was like, "No way." And it was, because then I saw some leaves blow and I was like, "This is dumb." And it just starts, it just set that tone for me for the rest of the film. It felt like I was playing Chainsaw Massacre, the game.
Yeah.
It really did. A lot of just walking around in circles, not knowing what the fuck I was doing. That's exactly what it felt. He just kept walking. I get showing that's his journey. He just walks and walks and just kind of happens to find people, I guess.
I think he's drawn to the necklace. He knows where to go.
He's drawn.
And I like his little backstory.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't drawn to it because he went to the one guy's house.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, at one point, they drive by him, and then he just follows that car. I think.
He's just kind of following, I guess, noises and things, but he's just walking really slow. He doesn't run. He just walks, and I get it. Yeah. He's walking. I don't know if you guys knew, but he likes to walk.
He does
And
like
walk.
to walk. I did notice that, Crystal.
Okay. I honestly thought I was watching him. If you turned off the screen, if you just had the audio, you would think you were listening to like a meditation video.
Yeah.
You're listening
That's
to
honestly-
ASMR.
That's
like
what I
really
thought I
30
was
minutes in when you
doing.
hear somebody screaming and dying.
Yeah, like you hear those commercials sometimes for like meditation apps and it like plays it for a moment. That's what I felt like I was in. I was like, you know what? I could play this in the background of him just walking. I was like, little horror, little meditation, a little ambient noise. Okay, I'm okay.
It would be
with
good
this.
to have on in the background of like a Halloween party. Just have it
Yeah.
projected on
just
the
him
wall.
That would be
walking.
fun. It's a good ambient movie. I will say, if it wasn't trying to be comical, I would have picked a different mask because his mask.
But-
He actually was cooler without the mask. Once he gets the mask, I'm like, all right, it's kind of goofy.
Because they're
Yeah.
trying to fill in his backstory. They're trying to make him too Jason.
Yeah.
Too much like
Very-
Jason. That's not what it is. Him going in and fucking stealing them. Why did he go in and steal the mask?
To
Why?
look cool. To look
Because that's what he,
cool.
as a kid, he always wore it, right? So
Yeah.
he's like.
But didn't he just kill people 10 years ago? Where's that
I guess
mask?
so.
Did he
I
not
don't-
wear it?
He didn't wear it.
It's a good
I don't know.
So
question.
why's he got to wear it now?
We're gonna need a
a good question.
prequel. We're gonna need a prequel.
But the
here
kills,
are my-
I will say, if it was short, okay, I'm gonna go. Hold on. If it wasn't as I didn't realize it wasn't supposed to be funny. I thought it was supposed to be like kind of over the top, which kind of now kills me with that.
Yeah.
Because the characters were very dumb, and I thought they were playing that as a joke.
Mm.
But if it cut the walking scenes, that movie could have been a short,
It would
and
be
I thought
10
it would have been
minutes
great.
Yeah,
That
it'd be
is- okay.
fucking 4
Those
and a half
kills,
minutes long.
those kills were fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
with
The
that.
one on the hill, loved it.
That's the
Yeah.
standout one.
Yeah,
Loved
for
it.
sure.
I believe I said the same thing about Skinamarink, where I went, this would be an interesting short film. And in Skinamarink's case, that was the case. There was a
Yeah.
short film. I don't know if this had enough staying power for a feature. I enjoyed it.
No.
I don't see me actually sitting and paying attention to it again. But the idea, it actually, so if you don't like this movie, it actually shows you why those other movies are good. It's like, hey, this is why you don't see it from the killer's point of view, because it would actually be pretty boring. So all those characters that you complain about, in comparison, at least they're talking and having conversations and getting naked or whatever. They're not just walking around the woods and playing with toy cars. I did appreciate what it was trying to do. People are split on the ending.
I was
where
gonna
it
ask,
just-
what did you guys think?
It took me a while, and then I realized what was going on. I'm like, oh, that's clever.
So what was going on?
Because it's expecting you for like the killer to pop out, and they
Yeah.
just keep drawing it out and out and out and out. So it's actually kind of cool when it doesn't happen. I don't think that scene needed to be like 20 minutes long. It could have been a 5-minute scene and had the same effect. But I kind of like, because that's the only time we're not with the killer. It is suspenseful. The whole movie has trained you to be with the killer at all times, so you know what's happening. And that's the one time where you're taken out of your element. You're like, okay, now I don't know what's gonna happen. But it also
Do you think do you think that story that the lady was telling was that valuable?
I think it was just something to distract you.
Yeah,
to be
I think they were
honest.
just trying to tell a story interesting enough to keep your attention while you wait for, is he going to jump out and attack or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was an interesting experiment. I am glad that it exists. I don't know if we need a sequel. They were talking about a sequel. I'm like, I don't
Officially
know.
announced. There's a poster already.
No,
Yeah,
are
we-
you serious?
The hook,
Wow.
the hook is the 2.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I'm
Um,
curious about it.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna rush to see that second one. This is
I
one of
will
those,
walk
like,
slowly to go see it.
I will walk slowly.
Yeah, there you go.
I will film my walk to the theater.
Through the forest, though, please.
Yes, I
Through
will
the
walk-
forest, day and night.
We can't find Tony. That's the
He's
one
probably
story.
at the gas station finding the girls. Like,
I
what?
wanted to get one of those GoPro things that can hang on the back of me and just film my entire walk. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say about In a Violent Nature. I think we all agree it was interesting, but it might not have fired for all of us. Now we're at the big one, guys. He's back. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Why is that? Why did I get such a pixelated picture? Beetlejuice is back, baby. And he's not Hawaiian. That was the original sequel they were going to do. Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. They wanted Kevin
Yep.
Smith to write it. Yes.
Really?
Tim-
Were they trying to do like a Jack Frost 2 thing?
I guess so. Yeah, Kevin Smith turned it down to do that Superman movie that never got made. Yeah, Beetlejuice is back. Tim Burton is back. Winona Ryder's back. Catherine O'Hara is back.
Who's not back, Tony?
Jeffrey Jones' image and likeness is back, but he's not there physically, which means the actor still got paid, which is controversial. But anyway, he's actually where the origin of Cuties fans, the term, came from on this show.
And you know who else is back?
Who?
Bob!
Bob is
Bob
back.
is-
Justice for Bob!
Yes, Beetlejuice 2, a sequel no one really wanted unless you kept falling for that fake poster on Facebook for the last 10 years.
Yep.
With Johnny Depp, Beetlejuice 2. I don't know if you've seen that fake poster. It's
Yeah.
like infamous at this point. Yeah, they decided let's return to the world of Beetlejuice. Now me, Crystal, and Johanna reviewed the original one. It's great. We loved it. I was hesitant to see this. I really don't like late comedy sequels. Kaylee recently made me watch Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah.
Which Sarah came back.
Godspeed to you,
And
bro.
I'll never fucking forgive her. I went 10 years not seeing that. And I regret ever agreeing to watch that film. So yeah, I usually hate late comedy sequels. I just skip them mostly. I didn't see Bill and Ted 2, Jay and Silent
Zoolander
Bob
2.
Bill and Ted 3.
3?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
3 is
Bill
the
and
one
Ted
that
3,
just came out, yeah.
Zoolander 2, skipped that. Clerks 3, skipped it. I'm like, nah, not for me. Because it's always inevitably about someone's daughter for some fucking reason, which this one was about. So I was hesitant to go into this. But yeah, we got Winona Ryder back. She's got an asshole husband. She's got a TV show. Her dad died. He got
Not
eaten by a
husband.
shark.
Not husband.
Fiance, boyfriend. She has to
Both.
like deal with her dad's death and reconnect with her daughter. Jenna Ortega is sad because she has to move to the shitty town and she misses her dad who's dead. And you think this be a moment where she connects with her mom whose dad just died.
She
but,
doesn't she doesn't know she doesn't think ghosts are real. That's her
Yes.
whole mom's
Yeah.
thing.
She
That's
doesn't
every
think ghosts are
whole
real.
family is revolved about ghosts. She's very anti-ghost, which is a big part.
She's very anti-ghost, and she gets a boyfriend who might be a ghost. Catherine O'Hara decides to milk her husband's death to be another art piece, which is on brand for the character, actually. Monica Bellucci
Yes!
is
Yeah,
Beetlejuice's
fuck yeah.
mysterious wife we didn't know exists, except for that one joke about a finger in the first movie. Danny DeVito accidentally brings her back to life, and now she's coming around hunting for Beetlejuice, which means Willem Dafoe, who is an actor turned ghost cop, has to stop her rampage, and he knows Beetlejuice is involved because Beetlejuice used to be married to her. By the way, Beetlejuice is back. He's still doing his bioexorcism. He's got a whole team now, and his plan to get away from this is to once again do the marriage plan. And for some reason, he's still hung up on Lydia. For some reason, he never.
And she's
tried...
not young anymore. So
Yeah,
I guess
but
it wasn't
why
a
didn't he just
weird
try that
pedophilia
plan?
thing.
Why didn't he just try that plan with anyone else? Why does it have to be Lydia? They never explain it. And then Bob's there. That was a lot of plot lines in this film. But you'll be shocked to hear that I actually enjoyed it. Thought it was okay. Joey, what did you think
That
of
is shocking.
Beetlejuice?
I will say, on your point, I do think there was a lot going on in this movie, but I really enjoyed it. And I hadn't seen the original in probably close to 10 years. And I thought, what did I like about that movie? It was the atmosphere, it was the acting. And I was worried that this movie was going to try too hard with the atmosphere and sets. And I am pleasantly surprised about specifically the atmosphere and the sets. And, you know, the first movie, it's famous that Beetlejuice was only in the movie for like 17 minutes. And one of my main concerns was this movie's going to be fucking loaded with Beetlejuice. And it wasn't. And he
definitely has more screen time. But
he does. Yeah.
But
I
so
think-
does everyone, apparently.
That's true. But I think they used it effectively because he's only in the movie for like 20 or so minutes.
Yeah.
But every time he shows up, it's just fucking on. And the whole thing, the side plot, it's not even a side plot really, with the wife and how it showed the flashback of him as a human. That was really awesome.
Done like a Mario Bava film, and then they
Yeah,
reference
it's
Mario
just
Bava in the movie.
so
which is
good.
fun.
And Bob got so much screen time. It was fucking awesome. This movie was really great. And I am pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it because I thought I was going to fucking hate it. I can't wait to watch it again.
What did you think, Gil?
I agree with a lot of what you just said, Joey. I think Anytime Beetlejuice was on screen, anytime we were dealing with the afterlife world in any way, whether we were with Willem Dafoe, Monica Bellucci, or any of them, I was really enjoying the movie. The movie is kind of weird. Like Monica Bellucci shows up and seems to be set up as the main villain, and then she's barely in the movie after that. Willem Dafoe, we keep cutting back to him. He doesn't really interact with the main plot, and things kind of tie up very rapidly in the end, which feels weird, but I think very intentional. And I think it is funny that it's kind of subverting what you expect from a normal movie structure, and I think that's a good choice. But I will say that when you're not having all of that fun stuff and you're dealing with just the regular human world, sometimes just in comparison to the more fun stuff, it felt a little bland to me. Like scenes of Jenna Ortega meeting the neighborhood boy, scenes of Jenna Ortega and Winona Ryder with this dramatic conflict where they both have different feelings about, for her, for Lydia's deceased husband, Jenna Ortega's deceased father. It's like a dramatic conflict, but the movie's not really interested in real emotional stakes, so that never really goes anywhere. And then there's a lot of repeated jokes, like Catherine O'Hara. Postmodern art is weird, and she's really over the top with it. Rory desperately trying to worm his way into the family over and over. Some of those jokes were tiring to me. So in a movie like this, where there aren't real dramatic stakes and it doesn't add up to, greater than the sum of its parts, it's really just a question of what portion of it was I having fun with. And it's like 70% plus I was really enjoying myself. Some of the human stuff I found kind of boring, especially when it's next to this, like you were saying, Joey, atmosphere, sets, like that great stuff. When you put that next to another scene of Catherine O'Hara screaming in front of a camera, look at my weird postmodern art, I just started to get kind of tired of it. But overall, I enjoyed it.
What did you think, Crystal? I saw you saw this by yourself like a weirdo.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Yeah. That's
And I I look cooler doing it though. So I loved
I don't
it.
take selfies when I see movies by myself in the theater.
You sure?
No,
You sure? Yes,
Not-
you do.
Not in the theater.
Yes, you do. Yes,
next,
you do.
Next to a poster, maybe, but not actually.
There
in
has
the
been some in the theater too. I will find them.
Joey, it's happening
Liar.
again. We need a secret signal for when we both leave.
I know.
I did love it. I agree with a lot of the points. I will take Catherine O'Hara yelling at anything. I love her so much. I love her characters that she plays. I think she's so phenomenal as an actress. I never personally got tired of her over the topness about art. Fit her character. I just loved that running gag. Yes, the boyfriend, Lydia's boyfriend annoyed the fuck out of me. It was definitely a lot. I know that was the point, but still, I could have done a little less of him. But the two villains were barely in it. There was barely a story with it. I think they should have did one or the other and kind of more focused on it, because I almost forgot what was happening. Like where were we in this film? What direction are we going in? It just kept doing, okay, we're going back to here. Now we're going back to here. Now we're going back to here. And I was like, okay. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a lot of fun. Bob just fucking killed it. Justice for Bob. Michael Keaton.
Screen again.
Please, just leave him. Just yeah, perfect. Oh my god, he's perfect. Michael Keaton, I think, absolutely killed it. Kept the style of Beetlejuice. I don't think it changed. I think his Beetlejuice was this almost just about the same as the old one. I saw there was like an interview of someone asking, how do you get into character of Beetlejuice? And he said, it just automatically happens. Like you just think about how, like there's no diving into that character. You just know how he talks and how he acts, and it just happens natural. And he was able to just jump right back into that. There was great callbacks to the original. I love the animation part. I thought that was super clever.
That was fun. Clever.
I really wish I saw more of Monica Bellucci's character. As soon as she starts putting herself together, I was like, this is awesome.
That scene was so good.
It was so, oh my God. Danny DeVito. Loved that.
Yeah, so good.
I don't want to say Jenna Ortega was the weakest, but I think her character was the weakest in the movie, which is disappointing.
I feel like she was acting really well, which was almost a problem because everybody else was so over the top.
Yeah.
And she was kind of taking it really seriously, which she
Yeah.
did well, but I don't know if it fit.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. I know she was supposed to be like the normal one, but she isn't still normal too because she's literally wearing a costume that no one can reference. Like no one knows. Like she's still not a normal kid.
She's weird
If you
in a
had
different
her,
way.
yeah, if you had her play a typical teen, maybe I can see that. Maybe as those girls that are in school type that were making fun of her. But I wanted to see more of Dolores, Monica Bellucci's character. She was sucking these souls and this Manny.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. I was like, oh my God, this is the character I love. Like, I want to be this character one day. Like, and then done. Just done. Even when she comes into the chapel, like,
they wrap up things pretty quick. A lot of the plot lines get wrapped up pretty quick.
little too quickly. I just wish they stuck with one villain. The boyfriend, all of a sudden, Jenna Ortega's boyfriend just disappears.
Yeah,
Like,
real
just
quick.
it's just gone.
I will
I guess
Every
you just
conflict
needed
is resolved so easily.
I feel
Yeah,
like
there
you
was-
could have took, like, they were looking for a reason for her to go into that world.
Mhm.
I think you could have honestly just done it with her trying to find her father. You didn't need to add that. It's her now exploring, like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm going to go see on Halloween if I can do this or something like that. And then going in, I don't think you needed that part. I do like the part of the family getting back together. That was pretty heartwarming.
was
I
nice.
think there was nice emotion there because you did see that they cared about each other. What did you guys think of the song? I think they were there when they were trying to basically recreate the table scene moment in the original.
Yeah,
Is that the church song?
Felt a little.
That's the church song
Yeah.
that
Oh,
they
okay.
completely try to redo.
Yeah, some. Oh my God!
What are you doing? Is that
I was trying
Alexa?
to hear. Siri or Alexa?
That's Alexa.
New Mexico.
Echo,
Kokoro.
shut up! I didn't even say her name, but I said okay, and it gave me facts about Oklahoma.
Nice.
I didn't even touch it or anything.
Learn, Tony.
Sorry. What was I saying? Okay, so the music
The dance. The
goes on too long.
yes.
Goes on too long. And actually, the Soul Train sequence, that's like a funny pun. It's very dated. It's a fun. I do like that the afterlife we've seen is like purgatory. And there's trains that take you to whatever afterlife is part of your religion. So it's like heaven, Elysian
I like
Fields.
that.
That was fun. But like the Soul Train, I'm like, all right, I get it, Soul Train. And then it just like kind of went on and on and on. The musical stuff goes on a little bit. Did you like how they just wrote Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis out of the movie?
Completely out. Yeah.
I found a loophole.
They found a loophole in their contract and left. I'm like, yeah, you can't really DH those two. It'd be really
No.
hard.
I think that's what they
No.
said, actually. They wanted to bring them in, and
Yeah.
they just figured it wasn't going to look right with the de-aging.
Yeah.
I wish they somehow played some. I kept forgetting they were the only ones that went into that world. I kept forgetting. I kept thinking Lydia went into it and she didn't. Because that was just basically the entire movie.
Mhm.
That entire plot. So I was like, oh, something feels missing. Something definitely
I
felt
will-
missing.
I will say with callbacks, I like that they got a lot of the big ones out of the way early. They're like, okay, we got it. We'll do the Deo song early. We're doing the model in the beginning. Let's get them to the house early. And then the rest of it felt pretty fresh. Nothing felt like it was trying to redo the original up until
Yes,
the chapel.
the chapel.
The chapel, yes. But everything in between that, I'm like, okay, we're getting like new stuff. So many of these movies just like to like retread old ground. I'm like, I'm glad they got all the references stuff out of the way in the beginning. How do you guys feel about them actually showing Jeffrey Jones's face?
I was shocked that they even fucking considered showing his face.
I like how they wrote around his character and brought him into the movie. I thought that was funny, but like the fact that they actually showed, I said I would have had him where like he died years ago and they're over it. I would have had that be Otho's funeral. There is no mentioning.
No.
Because again, he died in real life, but there's no mention of what happened to Otho afterwards. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I would have had Otho in there. Everyone loved
Anything.
Otho. But yeah, overall, I had a great time. I saw this with my sister. We enjoyed it. I actually don't own Beetlejuice on Blu-ray. I have the old paper DVD, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? When I get the Blu-ray, maybe I'll get like a 2-pack of this and 2. This is one, out of all the comedy sequels, the one I was able to tolerate that came late was Bad Santa 2, but even then I only watched it once. This I would actually watch again. It would be a fun
Oh yeah,
feature.
absolutely.
But yeah, I think they did a good job. I don't think we need Beetlejuice 3. We didn't need this movie, actually. We could have
Don't you think for the title we need it though? Because Beetlejuice, you're supposed to say it 3 times.
Stop
Burton
it. Just stop,
no.
Gil. Shh. Shh. Don't put
Yeah,
that out there.
Yeah,
don't
we
put
need
that out there.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Shh.
They're listening. They're like, wait a minute, what did he say? Write that down.
Okay, so one last
Cinematic
question
Universe. Monica Bellucci gets a spinoff.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, I'll
go
take
with
that.
Will they
Wait,
bring back-
does Audrey Plaza and Monica Bellucci, can they do a scene
Oh
together?
my god!
Sure.
I think I would melt. I would explode.
Oh, you're not shushing me now, right? Now there's some good ideas coming out here.
Also, Crystal?
Yeah.
Aubrey.
What'd I say?
You've been saying Audrey. I thought I was mishearing you, but now you said it again. I'm like, oh, I think she's been saying Audrey this whole time.
I don't know why I've been saying that. I know her name. My mouth just doesn't work sometimes. I'm
Crystal, are
sorry.
you known for saying things wrong on this show.
No. No. I don't know what you're talking about. I say everything correctly. I'm super
That's
super
okay.
educated with my speaking. And
None of us said William Dafoe, so that's a win in our book. I've heard a lot of people say William Dafoe a lot. Okay, so I had to ask the question going down the line. Which Michael Keaton return was better? Batman and the Flash or Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice? Joey, pick one.
Beetlejuice squared.
Okay, Gil, what do you think?
Well, first, I think you're disrespecting the actor because he announced recently he's going to go by his real name, which is Michael Douglas. Keaton's his middle name. He has to change it professionally because you don't want to be confused with the Michael Douglas.
So why is he doing it now? That's weird.
Because he doesn't care anymore. So if you want to rephrase the question, what was
no,
Michael
it's
Douglas's?
Michael Keaton. It's
Oh,
Michael
wait.
Keaton.
No,
Wait, you know
so
who
he
tried-
changed it recently.
I
to
know.
Michael...
I heard you.
No.
But it's fucking Michael Keaton. Okay.
You know who tried this recently? Selma Hayek tried this briefly. She tried to use her like married name Penult. They were putting that on posters, and I think they stopped that real quick. They were like, no one knows who the fuck that is. I knew Michael Keaton's name was Michael Douglas. I just didn't know he was going by that now. That's a
Does
bad
it say
idea.
it? No, it says it in the credits.
Well, maybe he's gonna start doing
Are you
it.
fucking with me?
Wait,
To
does
me
it
or
say
Tony?
Michael Keaton? It does say Michael Keaton Douglas?
Yeah,
No,
well,
it just says Michael Keaton.
It
Oh, yeah.
happened right after the movie came out. I guess he didn't want to tank the movie. And we're like, Michael Douglas has Beetlejuice. What the hell?
Okay, well, which one did you like more?
This one.
Okay. Crystal, we reviewed the-
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Okay.
Shockingly.
All right. That is it for the reviews. Crystal, do you have to leave? I know you're on a time limit. You have to
Sorry,
leave.
keep talking. You are too, motherfucker.
I know, but you seem to be in more of a
Just
rush.
keep going.
I have the door code to my sister's house. I can go in whenever, okay? But you seem like you had something. Anyway,
I do.
Let's-
Keep talking. Quick.
let's
Let's go.
bring on some patrons. And of course, Izzy a patron. He made it onto an episode, and he did a way better job than Joey C. He's now my best friend, Logan from Videoville. Logan, I already forgot what movies you said you saw, but say what they are and what you thought about them.
Violent Nature and Beetlejuice.
Oh, Violent Nature. Did you like the part with his back?
Yeah, it was. I like the third part of his back. The third.
Oh,
one.
that was a good one. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah. No, actually, I liked In Violent Nature. I thought it was fun. The kills were pretty brutal. And I didn't find the kills like overly like distasteful. Like I know a lot of people were talking about how brutality and stuff. And we were like, y'all brought up like Terrifier
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like I don't like personally, I'm not a big Terrifier guy, so I just feel like some of those kind of kills are just kind of like not necessary. Just like, but as far as like this kind of like brutality, like it just seemed more like it felt like video game style. You know what I mean?
It did feel. It felt a little out of place compared to the rest of the film.
Well, it just seemed like just something like playing like you remember like Manhunt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like just
I
that
saw
kind of just like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of just like, oh shit. Like, oh my God, you know, like that kind of stuff instead of like, oh God, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they feel like Mortal Kombat fatalities.
Yes,
More than they do
yes.
kills in a slasher film.
Yes, yes.
Mortal Kombat, you can like shove a head through someone's torso and
exactly. But yeah, I like that one a lot. Yeah, I agree with the last 20 minutes. Like, I don't hate it because it's when like, okay, well now it's like, it goes like, what is it? Like 180. So like, okay, so now we're going back to the other perspective. But I do agree. It was just like way too long. Like, and it kind of like, so remember, like, I don't know if y'all felt the same way, like with It Follows, after you find out what's going on, did y'all spend a lot of time looking in the distance in that movie to see if you saw people in the white?
Totally.
Like, especially when she goes back to the school, like the entire time I'm like looking out the window, waiting for someone in white to walk towards the window while she's in school. I felt like that with that. Like I kept on looking in the bushes and stuff like that, like, or just trying to like look off camera to whatever I can like lock my eyes with.
It's tense. It's a really tense scene. And maybe it goes on too long to a point where you're like, okay, I don't even care anymore. He can jump out and I won't care.
Yeah, for sure.
For some people, for me, it didn't. But yeah, I could see it for some.
No, I agree. I think it went on so long to the to like when it concluded, you're like, you know what I mean? Like if you would just give me 5 minutes, I wouldn't have done that. But in fact that, it took us 20 minutes to get to that. It's like, I thought I was going to at least get something at the end because you've had me waiting for so long. But yeah, and then now as far as like Beetlejuice. So I went in very low expectations. I didn't even know we were going to see it, to be honest. And Becca was like, I got tickets. I'm like, oh, cool. All right. We're seeing this. I thought we weren't going to see it. Okay. She loves I love Beetlejuice, but she loves Beetlejuice. And we're watching it. And you know me, I'm just sitting there like, I don't fucking see this. This is stupid. But we're watching. I'm like 20 minutes in the movie. And I nudge her like, hey, this is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, my sister and I both walked out. We're like, that was shockingly pretty good. I was not expecting it.
Yeah,
again, could have went my whole life without seeing it. I will say one thing I do like. Tubi just put the Beetlejuice cartoon on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So I've been watching the shit out of that. I was real into that as a young kid. So that was fun. But I'm glad you liked it. Let's see from our boy. Get your super chats in, guys. Actually, we have a bunch of super chats. Holy shit. Get your super chats in. Let's hear from everyone's favorite patron, Lucha Steve. Why is his screen black?
Hang on.
Is he alive? Hello, Lucha. It's weird. The thumbnail down there, I can see him, but when I bring him on the thing, okay. He's frozen on the thing. All right, well, while we wait for Lucha Steve to become unfrozen and come back, let's see. Let's get to some super chats here. Also, Crystal, that is a nice setup you have there. I'm in the future have it set up before the show starts, but it's a nice setup. I look forward to have you on more live episodes. People are afraid like you're leaving the show. People are like legit. They're like, "What do you do now that Crystal's gone?" I'm just like, "I fucking."
Apparently, it's a great thing that I'm gone. I've seen a lot of people will be like, "Thank God she's gone." And then there's also a lot of people that are like, "I'm so happy you got away from Tony." They're like, a lot of that though. I'm not kidding. There's a lot of my comments are like, "I am so happy you got away from that." Like, thank you for getting away from that cancer. And I was like, wow.
From the show.
Oh my God.
Don't insult cancer like that. Like, what the
they're
fuck?
like, she's gone from the show, and I'm like, if only, guys, if only. But yeah, hold on, let's check in. Nah, he's still frozen.
Just restart his computer, he said.
Okay, Aussie Dragoon for $5 can confirm Tony singing Tom Bombadil is peak Hack the Movies, all downhill from here. Well, if you listen to the Fellowship of the Ring episode, I did sing Tom Bombadil in that too, so that was the second time I sang it. Thank you very much. Next up, Michael Zielinski for $1.99. Thoughts on the Terrifier movies? I've only seen All Hallows Eve in the first one. I still haven't gotten around to the second one. I feel pretty bad about that. What do you guys think, just briefly?
I watched the second one, and I was waiting for it to be over. I'm not into that type of horror. It was just too much, man. I was alone. I was eating chicken fingers. I'm like, I can't be eating this while I'm watching this. This is fucked. This is like some psychopathic shit. The first one was fun, but the second one was like way over the top, man.
Oh, I feel like the second one was a lot less horrifying than the first one. I feel like the second one started to have more fun.
Maybe it was because there was such a long time in between the two of them that I
forgot.
watched it that I just forgot. But yeah, I'm not a fan of those movies, man.
I love the Terrifier movies. But go ahead.
I think it's good. I think I didn't actually see the Terrifier movies until the second one came out. And there was so much hype about it, about how disgusting, and people were throwing up in the theaters, blah, blah, blah. I went in expecting a lot crazier. And it was like a lot of other horror films I've seen. I think it's just to a different community that's not used to that. I do like it. It's not my favorite. What I love about the Terrifier movies, though, is the people that are making it, and that it was such an indie film. I think I love the progress of these films and how huge they've got. So it's this freaking character in Call of Duty or something like that now.
Yeah.
Like, this
up.
is insane.
It's gotten huge.
And just to think someone like that can do it and then come through, it's absolutely phenomenal. I think it gives a lot of independent filmmakers a lot of hope. That is what I truly love about it. The movies themselves, they're good. I'll watch them. I don't hate them at all, but is the best thing ever? No, but they're good.
I think what's crazy with them is the fact of the stuff that we get out of them. And it's crazy how far we came from horror. Like, oh, we can see this and you go back to like we just did Candyman, and they wanted to cut a scene that only had like 10 seconds of blood splattering on it. And it was like the NCAA, like that, they took that out. But yet there's a movie like this that exists and goes around in theaters and everyone can see it. Like, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's crazy how far horror has came. And like this is now like almost like a norm. You know what I mean? Like, this used to be a niche category, but it's gotten so big, it's not a niche category. It's almost like where people are like, they see this and they expect all horror to be similar to this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I dig the stuff around Terrifier. My favorite Terrifier fun fact is Katie Corcoran. The girl gets cut in half in the beginning, in the first film. Me and her were bridesmaids in the same wedding. It's my favorite fact of all time. I forgot. I remember when they were filming it. I remember she was in it. Like, we're not like friends or anything, but like I follow her. So when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, oh, there's Katie. And I'm like, oh, there's Katie getting cut in half. Oh,
I wonder how she's doing these days.
Okay, let's see. Lucha Steve, you're here.
Hey!
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that.
Oh, God, I thought you were frozen again.
I swear to God, like every single time I do this, my computer just...
Okay, well, you're kind of cutting in and out. Very briefly,
right,
what movie did you see?
Can you guys even hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you. What movies did you see?
I saw everything but the two shows.
Okay, just tell us what you think about
Beetlejuice
Beetlejuice, since your internet's all over the place. Hello?
It's pretty good.
Cool. All right, if you're going to review that fast, then I will ask you the other ones. Real quick, Borderlands.
Yeah, I'll go through them fast just because I don't know when to freeze again. Borderlands, I hated it.
Okay, Trap.
What in the fuck? Trap, I thought was good. I thought it was very goofy, but overall I enjoyed it.
Okay, Speak No Evil.
The anticipation.
You used dramatic pauses are killing me. What?
Exactly. Anticipation liked Speak No Evil.
Okay, you liked it better than the... This feels like... Is this an In Violent Nature 2 thing where we're all on pins and needles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, In a Violent Nature. What did you think?
Okay. I think my internet has stopped crapping out, so I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
I can
Oh,
hear you.
yeah, I can hear you pretty good.
Doesn't sound like
All right. So,
Okay,
In a Violent
all right.
Nature, what did you think?
Every time I talk, there's like a pause, so I'm worried. In Violent Nature, I liked it. It was I think it would have worked better as a short film, but I was interested in its concept of being like kind of like a Terrence Malick slasher.
That's
and
a
I
good
really
way
like
that
I
is
really
a
like
really
movies
good
that like
fucking way to describe it.
and I also like movies that like as the movie goes along, you learn more and more and more about like the lore of things. So I thought that was kind of cool that you learned more about him from like conversations that other people have. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's just at 90 minutes, it was pushing it.
All right, nice. You can stay on while we read super chats if your internet will allow it. But thank you for joining, as always, Lucha Steve.
All right, cool. Probably gonna freeze again, but thank you.
That's okay. That's okay. Kiryu Pilot 379 for $4.99. Did anyone see Transformers 1? I hear it's having the same problem D&D had. A good film with almost no advertising. No, it had advertising. It had very bad advertising. Everyone I know who has seen the movie who also thought it was going to be bad are like, this is the best Transformers movie.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
like
I've
the
heard.
opposite problem that Suicide Squad and a lot of other movies have had, where the
Yeah.
trailer is awful. I saw the
Yeah.
trailer, I was like, "There's no way I'm seeing this movie," but now I'm hearing great things about it.
Yeah, so I didn't include it on the list. I'm like, we did a Transformers movie last year. I don't really care about this kid's Transformers movie. But now I hear really great things, so maybe we'll put it on the end of year wrap up. Okay, Psycho Jet Black for $2.
God.
Tony, forgive your parents for your round face. Okay, Psycho Jet Black. Tuck Tuck for $5. I don't know about you guys, but you should all review the best Rosario Dawson movie, Clerks 2, or whatever the Kevin Smith movies she was in.
Fuck yeah. And 3.
You know what? I don't
2 and
like
3 were
Clerks
great.
2. Maybe I gotta revisit.
Do we just want to do like Clerks review, like review of the Clerks
Yeah, why don't you
movies?
just do a trilogy of Clerks?
Fucking
the
love
whole
Clerks, man.
Trilogy.
So good.
Psycho Jet Black. What are the best and worst Audrey Plaza movies?
Oh, that's
All
very
right.
easy.
I say
Well,
things
she's
wrong all the
actu-
time, Crystal. All the time
Okay.
on our show.
I'm very excited to see her in Megalopolis. Who's excited for Megalopolis?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going to
it's-
the Ultimate Experience tomorrow night. I don't know what that
What?
means, but there's like
Oh,
a
is that
few
the one
showings.
where you can ask questions and Adam Driver answers?
So I can't figure out if it's that it includes a live Q&A, or I know at some point there's a live actor who comes on stage and maybe this incorporates that. I don't know, but
Okay.
they just opened up a couple. It was all sold out, and they opened up a couple more screenings today, and I nabbed a few tickets.
I gotta see if my IMAX theater is playing it tomorrow. So Francis Ford Coppola funded his own big budget vanity piece. Couldn't get a distributor. I think Lionsgate is the one distributing it. They're on a roll with The Crow and Borderlands. It's apparently pre-sales are not very good. They use AI fake articles, fake reviews to promote
God,
it. There's a big
Ugh.
shit show, but I like Francis Ford Coppola, even though he's a fucking weirdo. So I'm excited to see this big spectacle and see if it's.
Well, and he's wanted to make this movie for decades. It's like
Yes.
his life's work. He's for 40 years he's wanted to make this movie, and finally
that
he did it.
always works out. Okay, it always works out. Like when Terry Gilliam wanted to make that Don Quixote movie, and then he did, and no one saw it. Anyway, Psycho Jet Black for $2. Gil, who are the best and worst heterosexuals?
Jesus.
You know, I thought about. I
Yeah.
think he's been fishing for compliments, so I think he wants the answer is the best is Psycho Jet Black,
Oh,
and
yep.
the worst would be his opposite, sane boat.
Tony. All right, guys. On that note, I had to.
All right, goodbye.
I had to. Wow. Can I finish saying?
Oh, what is that? Oh, the hurricane got her. All right. Anyway.
Oh my god, dude.
All right. Bye, guys. It was great.
Goodbye.
Bye, Chris.
All right, take care.
Don't get sucked up in the hurricane. See you later.
Boys Month. Yeah.
Yes.
Psycho Jetpack, talk about your love for the jolly round face. I don't have a round face. Fuck you. Bill, thank you for the money though. Bill for $5. Is Adam getting royalties for the usage of his catchphrase? Because I said they're back, baby. I don't think Adam came up with "they're back, baby." Tony movie Chappie D9 Yo Blomkamp fan for $9.99. God damn it, Crystal!
It's
You
a
left when we
Crystal
get a
one.
$10 super chat for you. You bitch. Crystal's thoughts on the Zack Snyder DCU trilogy. And are you excited for James Gunn? I'll be Crystal. I thought they were okay.
She's a T-Rex or something.
Bitches
James
leave.
Gunn. I was supposed to be a witch, but I guess it did turn into
Okay.
slide into Crystal's DMs and ask her that question. Say she has to answer because you spent $10. Sorry about that. Tuck for $5. Tony, you reviewed Tenacious D, and it reminded me of the lack of Meatloaf on your channel. Would you do anything for love and do a Meatloaf movie? Well, actually, on Patreon, I did a bonus episode with Joe from Movie Dumpster for To Catch a Yeti. Does that count? Does that count, guys?
It definitely does.
It is a Meatloaf movie.
Maybe
I think it
we'll
doesn't
do Fight
count.
Club.
If it counted, he
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
have
can do
sent.
Fight Club.
Well, listen. I do want
Or
to do
did
Fight
you do
Club,
Rocky
but,
Horror Picture Show?
today is the 49th anniversary. I think next year for the 50th, we'll do a big Rocky Horror episode. How
Yeah.
about that?
Mm.
Talk
Fucking
You know what
about
you
it.
should you should do, since you're a big Roadhouse fan, you should do Black Dog, the Patrick
yeah, he's
Swayze
in that, isn't-
Meatloaf
I think
action
I own
movie.
that movie. I actually have to look through my DVD collection. I think I actually own that. God damn it! All these Crystal. What was the film that made you fall in love with movies?
Oh, dude, you're gonna have to call her.
My favorite movie is Carrie, because it was an evil lady. I don't know. Was that good?
Oh my god.
I should have looked at the goddamn. I didn't go down the list. I didn't know there were Crystal specific ones. Tony's solid stream, but it lacks info about Oklahoma.
That's fucking
Got
true.
a lot of Oklahoma information. Salvation is the best sequel since Judgment Day. I mean, you could say that about any of them, really.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm a Genesis fan myself.
You're a what?
Genesis fan myself.
Oh,
Genesis.
Oh,
Rise of the Machines is the best.
I
movie.
forgot. I actually did watch Terminator Zero.
Oh, what did you think?
Oh,
That
beautiful.
was pretty good. It's the best Terminator thing since Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
That's what I'm gonna name the clip. The best Terminator since.
But it legitimately was like really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm on the same boat of you of like, why the hell did they get Timothy Oliphant to be in this?
Okay, it looks like that's it on that end. I'm not.
Wait, what's
seeing
Strange
any-
Darling?
Huh?
Anybody watch Strange Darling?
I did not. I do want to
Nope.
see that though.
Yeah,
I
wanna
keep
see
pushing
heard
it
it's
I
back.
haven't seen
I
that
don't-
one.
It's on
I
my
think
list.
I think I'm seeing it Friday finally before it leaves
Nice.
theaters. I'm surprised it's been in theaters this long.
Also, guys, are we good for Mischief Night for the next wrap up? I was gonna make it on actual Halloween, but I figured that'd be mean. Do you guys want to do Mischief Night for the wrap up?
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
that should work.
If that
Sure.
works, let me know.
Fuck yeah.
For a minute, I was like, what if I
rewatch-
just do it on Halloween? I'm like, nah, everyone's gonna hate me.
I would
I'll
do it.
rewatch The Crow for the 11th time to get in the mood.
Oh,
There
good.
you go.
Yeah, you're talking.
You sound so excited about it.
So I'm not seeing any bits over on Twitch, but I'm sure we have a lot of Rumble rants. Nope, Rumble chat is dead. Okay, guys, that is it from us. Unless we get any last minute stuff in there. Thank you everyone for watching. Check out the Patreon and all that stuff. Subscribe to the Clips and Streams channel. That's where I chop up these into individual reviews. So if you don't want to sit through the whole show, you can just watch those segmented parts. And yeah, Joey C, where can we find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/officialjoeyc. If you've ever thought to yourself, boy, I could go for a restaurant in a video game. Well, guess what? I'm a health inspector and I examine the quality of restaurants and the wonderful worlds of all the video games that you love. So go check that out.
I'm very proud of you. Gil, where can we find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/onetakevids. In the next few days, I'll be releasing a Terrifier retrospective. So I don't know if you all noticed, but Tony skipped me when it was what are your thoughts on the Terrifier series? You'll find out in an hour-and-a-half video where I go in depth on every Art the Clown appearance just in time for Terrifier 3. And Tony, I was inspired by you, and we started a podcast on my channel. We've gotten 3 weeks so far. Each week I've been reviewing a movie. We just did Joker. We're doing the Napoleon Director's Cut this week, Megalopolis next week. And once I do enough episodes that we're convinced, like, okay, we're actually sticking to this and it's happening, I'm going to invite you all on as guests. I can't wait.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to
If
do it
you'll
early, I
join
will.
me.
Megalopolis would be a fun one to do, but I'll leave that to you, though. And sorry I
Talk,
skipped over
we'll
you.
talk.
You responded to Joey C, and for some reason, I thought that was you giving your thoughts on the films. My bad.
It wasn't. It was just like a preview of my full thoughts. So.
Okay. Wow, that hurricane reached all the way up to New York. Can you believe it? Lucas C, where can we find you?
Currently still trying to restructure my YouTube channel and then make another YouTube channel. So you can't really find me anywhere but on X as Jalopy Giraffe, and that's
Ooh.
all you can find me at.
Yes.
Okay. And Logan, what's going on at Video Villa?
Oh yeah, well, our latest episode just hit last Friday. We do episodes every other week, so we did Candyman, which was a good time for me, not so much for Becca, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, and our next episode is going to be on John Carpenter's The Fog.
Oh,
So
I
that'll be
love
coming out
the
not this
Yeah.
Friday, not tomorrow, but next Friday.
I mentioned The Fog in an upcoming review. If you want to know what I'm reviewing for October, become a Patreon channel member. I have the whole list there. Actually,
I saw that.
The last episode hasn't been shot yet, but it will be shot when Joey C comes down for the Crypt Video event. And also, Gil's going to be there. He swore on his mother's life that he will be there, and he won't let me down. I can't believe Gil did that. He's not.
I'll be there for like an hour or so.
And,
I have a pickleball tournament October 5th, but maybe October 4th, right? Is it 2 days?
It is.
Yes, it is. 4th and 5th. I already answered this question. Did anyone see Strange Island? No, I did not see it. But yeah, that is it from us. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.